Yeah, everybody. All right, so we got a brand new book today. Look at this. And we got Muffin back from Definitely Not Jail. Good times.
Hey.
Hey. So, yeah, we got a new book. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So this is a new D&D book, just came out. Just came out today, actually. The compendium module is live on Roll20, and automatically imports all the stuff to CharacterMancer, which we'll probably be playing with here towards the end. And apparently it comes with some like an add-on where it like imports puzzles and stuff into the game, into your Roll20 game, so we can mess around with those. And we won't look too closely at those because we don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But we'll take a look and see how they work, see what it looks like, because I haven't looked at any of it yet, and neither is Muffin. So we'll see, and then we'll try to like see about using this stuff in our next D&D game. Should be a good time. All right, so diving on in, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So you notice that this isn't like a PDF. This is the compendium entry, which has basically all the text, with some but not all of the art, on Roll20. So if you're not familiar with that, Roll20 is the website where we play all of our role-playing games on. It has this compendium feature where you can basically import the books to, or sorry, not import, but you can get the books into your games. So we can do this fancy stuff over here, which, oh, I'm going to be super zoomed in on here, so you won't be able to see it. Oh, well, I'll change the zoom once we're done looking at the book. Production. Anyway, so let's dive in. Let's see what we have. So this book's themed around the wizard Tasha, creator of the spell Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Raised by Baba Yaga, the mother of witches, Tasha adventured across the world of Greyhawk, which I believe Greyhawk was, I might be wrong on this, but Greyhawk was the setting for the original D&D, I believe. It was like the original Gary Gygax's like the setting for his players and characters. I might be wrong on that. D&D lore is not my, well, the out of game lore is not really my specialty, so I don't know. But all right, so let's dive in. Chapter 1, character options, the largest section of this book by a large margin. It comes with options for, I think, every single class. It looks like there's two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's two subclasses for every class, and then extra stuff on top of that. And then we also have a pretty good list of new feats. So if you're looking for extra stuff, this is definitely the way to go. For the format for this, we'll be going through most of it, but probably not going to be doing like a deep dive on every single thing in here. So I'm interested in this stuff in particular, so let's start with this. So first thing we have is customizing your origin. At first level, you choose various aspects of your character, including ability scores, race, class, and background. Together, these elements help paint a picture of your character's origin and give you the ability to create many different types of characters. Despite that versatility, a typical character race in D&D includes little or no choice. That's very true. That's one of the hangups that I have with it. A lack that can make it difficult to realize certain character concepts. The following subsections address that lack by adding choice to your character's race and allowing you to customize your scores, languages, and proficiencies. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, basically this is rules for like customizing race, which is super neat, and I think definitely benefits the system, because right now, like, you pick your race, and like picking the race is the choice at that step. Like, you might get to pick an ability score for like your secondary bonus, but that's about it. So like adding more customization to the race end of things is just it's everything you want in D&D. It's more customizing for your character. Like, perfect. Ability score increases. So here's how they normally work. Um, if you like your character to follow their own path, you may ignore your ability score trait and assign ability scores increases tailored to your character. Here's how to do it. Take an ability score increase, you gain in your race or sub race, and apply it to an ability score of your choice. If you gain more than one increase, you can't apply that increase to the same ability score. You can't raise it above 20. Okay, there you go. So for example, ability score increase trait of your race or sub race increases your constitution by 2 and your wisdom by 1. You could instead do intelligence by 2 and charisma by 1. Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. Muffin, what do you think about like making characters with like that kind of rule?
I mean, I think it really just kind of makes it easier to kind of like min-max what you're trying to do, which there isn't anything wrong with that. It's just adding kind of like a raw to how you would go about that. And I think like that's something people have done like from a DM perspective. Like that's when you're working with the player to like create something like a Paddington the Bear monk kind of thing. Like you do these types of things. It's just now here's a raw precedent for it, and I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from what I've heard of the book, there's a lot of that in here. There's a lot of like here's a bunch of stuff that people do at we've heard that people do at their tables because like rules as written stuff doesn't work in certain situations and people want more options. So we're going to write it all down, put it in a book and say, here's a bunch of optional rules that you can use at your table. Maybe you didn't think of it, or maybe this is a problem that you didn't realize you had, and this would be more fun. So,
And
yeah.
it makes it AL legal, right? Like, and I think that's kind of the big thing because you wouldn't be able to do this type of home brewing at in like a formal game, but now that it's been officially on the books, you can kind of like have more freedom in your character concepts and kind of like
Well, I don't
formal
know, like, because
settings.
Adventures League has like more strict rules, especially with like optional rules and stuff like that. So just because it's printed doesn't necessarily mean it's Adventures League legal, but it's
Just yet
definitely a
though.
step in that. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
definitely a step in that
yeah,
direction. And if we ever see a 6th edition come out, I would be willing to bet that this would be a core part of character creation.
yeah.
Like I have a feeling that all of this is going to be core whenever 6th edition ends up coming out, however long that might be. Languages. This is basically the same thing. It's just you can just pick whatever languages you want.
Yeah,
Like
whatever makes sense for you, dude.
yeah, like that makes sense. If you're a halfling and like you've never been raised around people and you've only been raised by giants, then it wouldn't make sense for you to know common. Like you'd probably wouldn't. You'd probably only know giant.
The like an ugly duckling situation.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like
He just never grew.
yeah, like an elf. Why does an elf like inherently know how to speak Elvish if they don't wherever around elves? Like you learn stuff by being around people. So by having that baked into the race, you're making an assumption about that character just because of the race that you picked, which
Yeah.
makes sense in some contexts, but in like languages, not necessarily. Proficiencies. Proficiency is the same thing. This has actual chart here. You can replace. Oh, let me scroll up so you can see this. I forgot how I have this cropped. um, some races and sub races grant proficiencies. These proficiencies are usually cultural, and the character might not have a connection with the culture in question or might have pursued different training. You can replace one of these proficiencies with a different one of your choice following the restrictions on the table. So then you have your table. You could trade an armor proficiency for simple or martial or a tool, simple weapon for simple weapon or tool, martial for simple/martial weapon or tool. So it's kind of tiered. Like I would have
Yeah,
actually
so
organized that a little bit differently, but it looks like
I
martial
yeah,
and armor are the highest tier ones, and then simple's a little bit lower.
and that makes sense though. So you can't just be
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, let me trade out like a dagger proficiency for a like a longbow or something like that.
Right, exactly.
It makes it a little bit more balanced. I kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense because none of that in there is going to upset the balance of anything. And if you're just like, I didn't learn how to use daggers. Like I was a wizard, man. Like I never. Well, I guess these are for race, but I don't know. I don't remember the racial like proficiencies off the top of my head. Hey, Silverio
Yeah.
Roy, what's up? Um, yeah. So like I get that. Yeah, I get that. Like I like this. I'm liking all of this so far. This is pretty solid. Personality. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I glanced at this. I glanced through this page only real quick, and I got to this, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't read this yet because this looks like good shit. Description of a race might suggest various things about the behavior and personality of a people's archetypal adventurers. You may ignore those suggestions, whether they're about alignment, mood, interests, or other personality traits. Your character's personality and behavior are entirely yours to determine. So this is just custom, like basically a custom race. This just gives you an outline for like how to do that. And I think this is super cool. I think that this is a thing that I would be interested in doing, just making a whole group of players with this like personality custom lineage format. So instead of
And
choosing sorry, go ahead.
like so this is like you could really have kind of the variance within your own lineages, right? Like if
Yeah.
you did something like a all rogue group for like a heisty kind of campaign or something like that, like you could then just have like a lot more variance in terms of your lineage here for like who's the muscle and who's the kind of assassin or like thief kind of thing, rather the infiltrator archetype of the stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that that's pretty cool how you can like, let's all make Ninja Turtles, but my Ninja Turtle is going to be vastly different than yours through the lineage of this stuff. And but this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about like just making the min max a little bit more balanced and a little bit more raw, because people would YOLO into kind of how you would stat this.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of people that are like, "Oh, well, I want to make a custom race," and you're just like, "Oh God, okay." So he's gonna come up with some bullshit, and I'm gonna have to see whether or not it's actually like balanced, and then just hope that I didn't like overlook something, and like, you know what? No, we're not gonna do that. Just pick one of the printed ones. I'm just like,
But also,
that sucks. But
the ability score increase here by 2
mhm.
isn't really anything to write home about. Like that's
Right,
kind of small, all things considered. Because it says you're humanoid, you're not human. So, you
you're not
know,
strictly a
I.
human, yeah.
But like I'm saying it for the purposes of your ability score increases. Like you wouldn't get your human ability score increase on top of this lineage one. You would
Right.
just get the lineage one.
Yeah, I think the advantage of this is being able to mix and match stuff, right? So basically, the idea here is you pick you pick the following traits and you just pick from like the range of options that it gives you. You don't necessarily have to pick a race and follow that as a guideline. You could pick a race as far as like this is what your character like looks like. So a creature type, you're humanoid, you determine your appearance and whether or not you resemble any of your kin. Like you could say that like, okay, yeah, I look like a Goliath, but like I also have horns and stuff like a tiefling. And like, what is
Yeah,
that about? I don't know. Let's find out.
a mountain horn Goliath kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
just like
You have
a
like goat
different,
horns or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. You can
Yeah.
make a whole little world out of that adjustment to the lineage where everything, so there's horned ones, there's finned ones, there's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera to fit your kind of world building need.
Yeah. The idea that this gives me is a world where like there were a lot of different races. Like we had orcs, we had elves, we had humans, and like something happened. Everybody like came together and stopped being like shitlords to each other. And like now everybody kind of looks like vaguely human, but like there's traces of different stuff. And so like yeah, I'm like three quarter orc, but like I'm an eighth this and like a 16th of that. And so like you might have dark vision, but you might also have like extra con. And then also an interesting choice is that you get, or an interesting thing on here is that you get a feat. You get 1 feat of your choice.
So it's kind of like the variant human thing then. So
Yeah.
that explains the ability score by 2 then, because that's
Yes.
had to be fairly balanced.
Yeah, so it takes place of like most of the races have an ability or some kind of like trait or something. Like the Azamar have their like wing stuff or their like explosion if you're the Scourge Azamar, like all of that stuff. You don't get any of that, but instead you get a feat. So yeah, it's a lot more similar to the variant human in that respect. I don't remember. Does the variant human get? It gets 2 +1s, not a +2, right?
I think you just get flat +1s across the board,
I thought
and
this is the
then
regular human.
maybe you're right on that, and then it is just like +1/+1. I think
Yeah.
that's how that works.
So I think this is arguably better than the variant human.
Yeah,
If
it
you want
is.
a feat, then yeah. Also, as Silver Aurora pointed out, the variable trait here, you gain one of the following options of your choice: dark vision at a range of 60 feet, or proficiency in one skill of your choice. You can get dark vision on a human. That's pretty good. You could also
You're
be a small
Batman.
human if you want.
I'm Batman.
You could have a dark vision small human with +2 strength. Because I don't know, man. My ancestors were lots of stuff. I am who I am. I don't fucking know. Like, I like this. This is super exciting to me, and I'm not sure how or if this is gonna have like an option or a template in the Character Mancer. I'm gonna assume probably not. You probably have to do it in custom. But this is super cool, and like knowing what I know about Muffrovia, which is honestly not a lot for like how much you have for that setting. I think that this could be an interesting add-on.
This literally plays like as I'm reading through it, like it plays in perfectly to the like next chapter that's been developed. Like, and I was kind of just using the monster manual effectively to really kind of uh, differentiate between the factions, but instead I can kind of
Mhm.
use one as a template, and that actually like plays into the story a little bit better than kind of having to Frankenstein some of the monster manual monsters into this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. I like that.
Yeah,
That's super cool. Changing a skill. Yeah, basically just when you get a skill proficiency.
you can trade it for a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty on board with everything else that they've kind of
In
changed there.
cases
So it's-
offered your class at first level. A convenient time for such things is when you reach a level that grants you an ability score increase feature, representing your character has spent a level or two studying a new skill and letting an old one atrophy. So, okay, that makes sense. Like, I haven't really been practicing my athletics. I haven't been working out lately, but I've been spending a lot of time studying religion. So, can I now, like, move that skill proficiency? Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
yeah,
Again, this is a lot of things where it's like it would make sense in the story, and like I think most PMs would probably just like let you do it as long as it made sense, like in the narrative.
yeah,
But here you go. Here's a rule for it. If you need something to reference, there you go. Changing your
and it makes
subclass. Yeah.
wait, so and it makes it into kind of like a thing where you can really like, I don't know, for groups who are more aggro about like, oh, I want to do all this stuff and like try to abuse the DM discretion, this
Mm.
really does kind of put a wall there too that I think is
Yeah,
makes
that's true.
sense.
That's
And
true.
even helps guide people who are new to the system homebrewing for their first times, and like, okay, yeah, you can have a bazooka, sure, why not? And then it's like, nah, actually you should probably look at this and just kind of like
Here's a
temper
guideline for how you
expectations.
give a player a bazooka, because like you don't want to go willy nilly. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I can't scroll down right away. I have to read from the bottom of the page because how I'm zoomed in.
Nice.
um Each character class involves a choice of subclass at first, second, or third level. A subclass represents an area of specialization. Yep, we all know what subclasses are. Training time. To change your subclass, your DM might require you to spend time devoted to transitions as you study the ways of a new specialization. This transition requires a number of days equal to twice your new level in the class. Okay, so let's say you pick something at 3, or you get to level 3 and you realize that, like, oh, I picked this school for my wizard at 2, and honestly, transmutation kind of sucks. Can I be
So
abjuration? Like,
I actually don't like this rule. I don't like that this has been formalized as raw.
really?
Because I think it's one of those things where you make your choice and you kind of live with it, and because that's that's the game you're playing. But like again, this is the thing where it's in most DM discretions. If you're playing the sorcerer, right? Do your school of magic. You don't like how it plays, and then you talk to your DM afterwards, like, "Hey, do you mind if I switch? This is really boring. I thought it'd be like this, and that's not how the rule works, or whatever." And you come to that agreement on the side. But like the fact that now this is formalized draw here, that's a layer of DM discretion that I think has been removed. And I don't know.
Well, I mean, all of this stuff is still, like, optional.
That's
Like, if you
true.
want to
That
just
is
say hard
true.
no, then you can just hard no it, right? Again, the GM discretion is always there. There's no element of taking that out. If you want
I
to just
mean,
say we're not
that is
including
true.
this, then you can do that. Um, I would say definitely that's a conversation, not a decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if somebody's like, look, I really fucking, like, I'm hating this character, then, like, that's gonna be a bad time to just be like, hard no, you got to stick with it.
Right. Right.
So it's like, here's a way that you can work with them on it if you don't like the idea of them just immediately switching. So it's twice a number of days. A number of days equal to twice your level. A higher level represents more to learn. That makes sense.
Yeah.
A DM might also require an expenditure of money to pay for training, magical reagents, or other goods needed for the transition. The cost is typically 100 GP times your new level. The cost might be accompanied by a quest of sort. For example, a sorcerer who wants to adopt a draconic bloodline could be required to receive blood, a blessing, or both from an ancient dragon. Fucking sick. Yeah, like that makes sense. It provides the player the option. It makes sense, but it's like, this is going to cost you. I like that. I like character centric stuff. So, like, adding rules for that, like, here's an option if you want to switch something, like, cool, you want to go draconic bloodline, there's an option, you can do that. You're gonna have to find a fucking dragon though, and he's probably gonna want a shitload of money. Like, all right, fair enough. Another option is a sudden change. um Sometimes a character undergoes a dramatic transformation in their beliefs and abilities. When a character experiences a profound realization or faces an entity or place of overwhelming power, beauty, or terror, the DM might allow an immediate subclass change. Here's a few examples. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. An Oath of Devotion paladin failed to stop a demonic horde from ravaging her homeland. After spending a night in sorrowful prayer, she raises the next morning with the features of an Oath of Vengeance, ready to hunt down the horde. That's fucking sick, dude.
That's kind of cool. I like this rule. This
Yeah.
variant of it's kind of sick because it's like, yeah, they fucked up my devotion here. Now I'm gonna freaking smite them all to hell. They will not get away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It gives room, and I'm going to say that's the thing a lot, I guess. But it gives room for um it gives room for, like, meaningful events to have an impact on the player, or to have an impact on the characters beyond, like, oh, here's what happens in the story. It's like, no, this happened in the story, and, like, I can't be an oath of devotion anymore. Like, I can't have that oath. Like, I've failed flat out. But I'm gonna get some avenging going. Like, that's a complete heel turn for the character. Maybe not heel turn, but a complete like change for the character, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Yeah. Another example: a wizard lies down for a nap beneath an oak tree whose roots reach into the Feywild. Fucking sick. In his dream, he faces multiple possible futures. When he awakens, his subclass feature has been replaced by those of its School of Divination. Dude, I am blown away by these. These are so cool. Cleric of War Domain has spent years in conflict with the enemies of her temple, but one day she wanders into a sun-dappled glade where her god once shed a tear of mercy over the world's suffering. Drinking from the glade's brook, the cleric is filled with such compassion for all people that she now bears the powers of Life Domain, ready to heal rather than make war. Dude, these are so good. Like I realize there's a lot of instances where you might like have like a meaningful impact on a character and they might want to make like a big change, and like I think these are really well written though. These are like fantastic examples. So I'm super into this.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? Okay, so new stuff for the Artificer. I think. Yeah, okay, so this has all the core rules for the Artificer. So we won't go through all of this, but yeah, this has the. Switch to the Tasha's version. Here you go. Here's the Tasha's version. So in case you didn't want to buy the setting book for Eberron, you don't have to. The whole book, the whole everything for Artificer is in Tasha's. So if you pick up Tasha's because you want all of the other stuff that's in here, you get the whole Artificer, and you don't have to buy that other book if you didn't buy it already. Cool. So here's all the stuff. Basically, they're like wizards, but with items. They get magical tinkering, where they can like create like minor magical items and just like make them. They're fucking sick. Dope. Spell lists, blah 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 blah. Infuse item is the thing I was talking about. And oh wait, where am I going? Sorry if this makes you dizzy. Next page. Okay, so here's the next thing. This is the Alchemist. So this is a new subclass for the what was the thing that we're Artificer. It's a new subclass for the Artificer. It's an expert in combining reagents to produce mystical effects. Alchemists can use their creations to give life and leash it away. Alchemy is the oldest Artificer tradition, although technically it's not, because this is new to this book. And it has versatility long been valued during times of peace and war. So at 3rd level, you get proficiency, and basically when you take this, you get proficiency in alchemy tools. If you already have it, you get another type of tool. Here's your spell list. You get healing word and ray of sickness at 3rd level, and then you get like alchemy themed stuff later. So like flaming spear, Melf's acid arrow, gaseous form, mass healing word, blight, death ward, cloud kill, raise dead. That is a wide variety of spells. I mean, it's not that many spells, but that is a variety of spells. Healing word and mass healing word. That's usually like cleric, right? Yeah, that's on the like cleric spell list. But then you also have like flaming spear and gaseous form. Like those are wizard, and I think druid gets flaming spear. Like that's pretty good. Experimental elixir. It gives you, this is like their like signature thing. Oh, it gives you like a random stuff. Roll on the experimental elixir table for the elixir's effect, which is triggered when somebody drinks it. As an action, a creature can drink the elixir or administer it to an incapacitated creature. Oh, that's good that they put that in there. So you can, as an action, like pour this down somebody's throat to administer it to an incapacitated creature. Neat. The only new one is armor, right? I think the armor, like the battle,
suit, whatever.
Yeah, I think this Alchemist is the new one, and then the 3 other ones were in the Eberron book already. So Artificer's up to 4, and most of the other ones are at like 9 or some shit.
Because there's
Um,
like the ones in the Eberron one are like your Iron Man, and then the other ones like you make guns, and then the other one.
was it in the Eberron? Huh. I
Uh,
didn't think it was. I thought you had the turret one. You had the turret one. You had the dog, or not the dog, but you had the pet one, and then you had
yeah, the pet.
the like super suit one. I thought those are the 3. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, so you get the experimental elixir. So you roll a d6, and then it gives these various different effects. Rolling a 1 makes it a healing potion. Interesting thing about this. I would I would wonder whether or not so create an empty flask. I'm wondering. So it says that you roll to see what it is, right? An empty flask you can touch, right? Roll to the table. Effect is triggered. I I don't see it calling out specifically that you know what the experimental elixir does when you make it.
I think I think that's what you could make like a character quirk, which could be funny. But
Yeah.
like, I think inherently you as an alchemist would understand red potion healing. Like.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But like, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
think you're
could
probably
really
right.
make that a quirk where you're like, you kind of just don't really know what you're doing. You're just mixing chemicals, and cause like, I don't know, you're like a dude who's making party drugs is your character basically, and that's why you're an alchemist. So you're just like, let me throw a bunch of nightshade and witchbane. It has like a little
What's we'll
skull
do?
cloud
I
in it.
don't
I
know. Let's fucking do it.
think it's a healing potion. It's like literally radioactive.
And you rolled a 6. That means the drinker's body is transformed by the alter self spell. The drinker determines the transformation is caused by a spell, the effects of which last for 10 minutes. Yeah, so.
I'm a butterfly.
Yo, you can get fly speed with this. A fly speed of
Oh,
10 feet for 10 minutes.
it's the bubble potion
There's a
from Willy
chance.
Wonka.
Yeah, like, I'm saying that there's a chance. That could be really useful, especially at level 3. Because you don't usually get fly till, like, what, level 4 or 5? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a few ways to get it at 3. I think there's a couple, but like also this isn't super like dependable. Restorative agents, they get like healing stuff, lesser restoration, that kind of stuff. Will not go through all of it. If you want to go through all of it, then buy it. Armor. So this one was in here before. You gain heavy armor. It basically lets you make alterations to your armor, and you become like a tanky boy, right?
You also get magic missile that you can make as a weapon, so you're effectively Iron Man. You create like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, seems good. .jpg.
Yeah, I
Thunder
mean it's cool.
gauntlets, defensive field. Oh, that's right. So there's different types of armor that you can make. So there's the Guardian and then the Infiltrator. Let me make sure I have that on screen. The Guardian and the Infiltrator. The Infiltrator is for like subtle stuff. So you have your stealth armor, and then you have your Guardian armor, which is like your frontline Iron Man shit. So you get the gauntlets that do 1d8 thunder damage on a hit. So you just start punching people, and it just does a thunderclap every time you hit them. Sick. I like it. Defensive field, temporary hit points.
No,
Then
see,
like
the
yeah,
Infiltrator's Iron Man, dude. You get a freaking the lightning launcher's pretty dope.
that is
Uh,
pretty
it,
sick.
it's like what's it called? A Sun Soul monks, basically. Just
Oh, and that's like a sneak attack too. Well, once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with it, you can deal an extra 1d6 lightning damage. Okay.
so you could literally do the what's it called? Sun Soul Monk, Android 17, Goku 5e. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
What the tournament they do. I keep wanting to say the Dark Tournament, but I know that's from Yu Yu Hakusho and not right. So, but
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
we're being
okay.
told that the armor is the new one, and it was in UA, but it wasn't in the Eberron book. I
Oh,
could have
yeah.
sworn that the Alchemist was the new one, but all right. Chat's telling me that's not true. Okay, I
Yeah,
guess I'm just
yeah.
crazy. That's fine.
I was with you on that. That was my understanding of it. But that
Yeah.
I'll trust chat
Oh,
because I
also with
didn't
the
Google it.
armor, important on here for like mechanically, when you attack with that weapon, your special weapon for your armor, you can add your int modifier instead of strength or dex to the attack
Oh my
and damage.
god,
And damage.
that there's a strong desire to play Iron Man in the next
It's
game I
pretty
play.
good. I mean, look at this art too. Like, look at that. That looks sick. Just like zapping werewolves.
Yeah,
That's
that's pretty
super
tight.
cool. Um, what do they get? Perfected armor, infiltrator. Any creature that takes lightning damage from your lightning launcher glimmers with magical light until the start of your next turn. Glimmering creature sheds dim light 5 foot radius and has disadvantage on attack rolls against you as the light jolts if it attacks you. In addition, the attack roll against it has advantage, and if the attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d6 lightning.
Jeez.
Warforged Artificer Armorer. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm about it.
Android 17, dude.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the Artillerist. The Artillerist is your blaster. You get some defensive stuff for shield and thunderwave, but your big thing is your Eldritch Cannon. You get a turret. You get a turret. You repair it with mending. There's 3 of them. There's a flamethrower, a forced ballista, which is 2d8 force damage at level 3. Fucking what? And a protector, which gives temp hit points. So you can make one of those 3 things, and yeah, you activate it as a bonus action. This shit's crazy, dude. Arcane
So
firearms.
hold on, hear me out here.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
hearing everything we've covered so far, you make a spaghetti western with artificers, and basically you use the lineages to denote kind of like the western races of the land. So
Mhm.
you're all the same humanoids, but of different lineages to give you the different specializations of the one dude who's more of the gunslinger versus the other dude who's the wacky Doc Holliday alchemist.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm about it. I'd play that. I'd play
Dude, I'd play
anything.
the
I don't
fuck
care.
out of that. That would I would want to be a player in that so bad. I'd love like a good spaghetti western kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit's great,
Okay, but
man.
that's
Okay.
freaking. I dig them.
Yeah. And then later you get like cover and stuff next to the cannon. Oh yeah, and at 15th level you can have 2 of them at the same time. Okay. Um Battlesmith. Okay, so this is the one that I was thinking of. This is the pet. It's
Yeah.
basically like you have the stuff and then you also have a mechanical pet, right? So here it's just honestly it's just a better version of the Beastmaster. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not super excited by that one.
It's not super
Cause
exciting, but like it's pretty good. Like if you look at the stats, I wonder if it has it here. It doesn't have it on this page, but the thing actually has some pretty solid stats. It's pretty good. So Artificer infusions. These are new options available. The infusions are the fake magic items that you can make. So these are like uh if you have a rod, staff, or wand, you can make an enhanced arcane focus. While holding this item, a creature gains a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls. Or sorry, these are bonuses to items that you can make. In addition, the creature ignores half cover when making spell attacks. And then at level 10, there's a bonus. The bonus increases to +2 when you reach 10th level. Enhanced defense. You have a suit of armor or a shield. Creature gains +1 armor, +1 bonus to armor class while wearing the armor or wielding the shield. Increases to +2 at 10th level. Like they're just bonuses, right? Like Those are the simple ones. There's some super cool ones. Repeating shot.
I'm telling you, the spaghetti western's getting better and better.
You're not wrong. So repeating shot. Here's one that's just like better, right? So this magic weapon, it's a simpler martial weapon with the ammunition property. Requires attunement. So like you can make a crossbow, right? Okay, this weapon grants a +1 attack bonus and damage roll, right? Made when it's used to make a range attack and ignores the loading property if it has it. So it automatically reloads itself. Here's the best part.
Like
This isn't like this stuff isn't only for you. You can make this repeating shot crossbow and hand it to your ranger or hand it to your crossbow fighter. If there's no ammunition in the weapon, it produces its own, automatically creating one piece of magic ammunition when you make a range attack with it. The ammunition created by this weapon vanishes the instant after it hits or misses a target. Like, that one's pretty damn silly. Also on here is replicate magical item, which there's a whole chart at like what level you can replicate stuff. Alchemy jug, bag of holding, cap of water breathing, goggles of night, rope climbing, sending stones. All of those things are incredibly useful. Up to level 14, you can make an amulet of health, belt of hill giant strength, boots of speed, dimensional shackles, gem of seeing, like.
Yep, there's a lot of flex benefit to this.
Yeah, and the rules on these, I think you can change these out. In infusing these, you replicate a particular magical item. You can learn this infusion multiple times. When you do, choose a magical item you can make with it, picking replicate items below. Oh, okay. So whenever you would learn an infusion, you can take the infusion to replicate a magical item instead of like repeating shot or radiant weapon or whatever. And then you can pick the item that you want to be able to replicate. And then boom, you just have that magic item.
And you can give it to your entire party.
Yeah, you just have that item.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this can be super good. Like if you're gonna talk about like min-maxing stuff, like being able to make these magical items and like hand it to your party. Yeah.
Pretty big. It's pretty big. Some of those are huge. Like so there's boots of levitation.
Boots of levitation, yeah.
Like, can invalidate a lot of shit with that.
Yeah. Ring of free action, ring of protection, horn of blasting. Yeah. They're yeah. It's not like the most powerful stuff. And a lot of the stronger ones do require attunement still, so it's not like you can just like toss it around the party and use it as needed. But
right.
Like you can make them. Barbarian optional class features. So we have some more barbarian stuff. So we have primal knowledge, the 3rd level barbarian feature. When you reach 3rd level, and again at 10th level, you gain proficiency in one skill of your choice from the list of skills available to barbarians at 1st level. Okay, cool. Like, yeah. You don't gain these features automatically. Consult your DM and decide whether gaining this feature in this section if you meet the level requirements noted in the features. Yeah, they can be selected separately from one or another. You can use one or both or none, whatever. Yeah, like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
And then we have Path of the Beast. So this is a new subclass for Barbarian. Choose your origin. One of your parents is a lycanthrope. You're descended from an archdruid and inherited the ability to partially change. Fey spirit gifted you with the ability to adopt different bestial aspects. An ancient animal spirit dwells in you, allowing you to walk this path. That's dope. This is actually one of my favorite. What is it? The animal totem barbarian. From Pathfinder 2. That's by far my favorite like barbarian in that game. So it's super cool to see that like brought over, or that
Yeah.
idea. Form of the beast. So when you enter a rage, I'll make sure I didn't over scroll there. When you enter your rage, you can transform, revealing bestial powers within you. Until the rage ends, you manifest a natural weapon. It counts as a melee weapon. A simple melee weapon, you add your strength, attack, and damage. So you get a bite for a 1d8. Once on each of your turns, when you damage a creature with this bite, you gain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, provided you have less than half of your hit points when you hit. So less than half is important. So that means it's only going to be working maybe like half the time, right? But like healing once per turn, not bad. Proficiency bonus, usually a pretty low number compared to like how much max health you're gonna have. So it's it'll add up over time, but like it's not gonna be huge. It's just nice. Claws, 1d6 slashing. Once on each of your turns, when you attack with a claw, using the attack action, you may make an additional claw attack as part of the same action. So that doesn't say like with the monk thing, you can do like flurry, or like if you're dual wielding, you can use a bonus action to like make an extra attack. That doesn't say that you use a bonus action. That just means that you get 2 1d6 attacks once per turn, once on each of your turns. Yeah, so that's just an extra attack. That's not bad.
That's actually really freaking strong.
Yeah. Now it is only a 1d6 though, so like barbarian, you're using like a great axe, you have a like d12 or whatever the fucking thing is, right? Like,
But I'd even take a 2d6 over a 1d12 any day, though.
yeah, but it's also 2 attack rolls. So you have a little bit more variance there, right?
Guess that's true. But if you have someone who gives you like a fairy fire or something like that to just give you an advantage on them,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to kind of gain advantage in combat just from positioning as well.
Yeah,
So
advantage is pretty easy to get in 5e. Like there's a lot of sources of it. Like you said, fairy fire. Fairy fire is what, a level 1 spell? Wait.
yeah,
Right. You grow a lashing spiny tail, which does a 1d8 piercing on a hit and has a reach property. If a character you can see, or creature you can see within 10 feet of you hits you with an attack roll, you can use a reaction to swipe your tail and roll a d8, applying a bonus to your AC equal to the number rolled, potentially causing the attack to miss you. So this is a riposte. This is the or what is it? Parry? I think it's parry, the Battlemaster ability.
yeah.
But you get this on a tail and you get a reach weapon, a 1d8 reach weapon. That's pretty cool, man. Like, if you want to do a tanky, like, I don't know how tanky this class ends up, or the subclass ends up being. I have a feeling it's not going to be anywhere near the bear, because I'm not seeing a lot of, like, damage reduction anywhere around
Yeah.
here. But, like, having a tail and then taking a feat. What is it, the Sentinel feat?
Wait, so how long is the tail? The tail has reach?
Yeah, tail has 10-foot reach.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, I guess if you're using Sentinel for like get the reaction to like stop people, then you're not using your reaction to parry, so there's that. But there's not really much ways for you to like get much more defensive stuff for Barbarian, right? Like, so this gives you an extra, it gives you the option of like if something's gonna hit you and do some real damage to you, just like, oh man, look, I'm gonna parry that with my tail. I'm gonna roll this d8. Oh, I got an 8. Cool. I have 8 more AC on this attack. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's not once per long rest or short rest either. That's just, you have that every round.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah. Like that and the claws are both real good. I think actually the bite is probably the weakest of those, even though it seems like at a glance that like, oh, you heal like once per turn. I think I'd rather just have the tail and just not take the damage in the first place. Beast Soul, in which we'll not go over like all of this, but you could get swim speed or climb speed or extra jump. Seems good. Call of the Hunt at 14. When you enter rage, you choose a number of willing creatures within 30 feet of you equal to your con modifier. You gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Until the rage ends, the chosen creature can each gain the following benefit on their turns. When the creature hits a target with an attack roll and damages it, the creature can roll a d6 and gain a bonus to the damage equal to the number rolled. Holy shit. So you get Bloodlust.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
Bloodlust on a number of targets equal to your con modifier. Long rest. Cooldown. That's pretty neat. I really like that. I'm very much looking forward to making one of those. That seems super cool. Path of the Wild Magic. I remember this one from UA. This one's super neat. I don't like theme wise. I don't know. Basically, the idea here is that it's a wild magic sorcerer, but on a barbarian. So you get the Wild Surge table. When you enter your rage, you roll on this Wild Surge table, and it's slightly different. It's not the same one. But like
this is the anime rage. Don't make me angry. I can't control it.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Mob Psycho, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is. You teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Until your rage ends, you can use this ability again on each of your turns as a bonus action. Fucking what? A 30-foot teleport is a bonus action on a barbarian? Excuse me? Oh, man.
Damn.
Like,
you can have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, yeah. These are super cool. Like, this whole thing is super great. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain for your enemies. It is real damn hard to run away from you. Whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll before your rage ends, that creature takes 1d6 force damage as magic lashes out in retribution. Great. Super good.
Yeah, that's all fun.
Yeah. An intangible spirit, which looks like a flumph or a pixie, your choice. I mean, obviously it's flumph, right? Appears within 5 feet of you in your choice. That you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of your turn, the spirit explodes. Each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or would take 1d6 force damage until your rage ends. You can use this effect again, summoning another one until on each of your turns as a bonus action.
Wow.
You just start summoning flumps and watching them explode on your enemies. Oh man. This is super crazy and like very flavorful, which when we get to Monk, there's another one that's like, oh, thank you for clipping the excuse me, Elegante. Thank you. Yeah, and then the capstone on this, well, not capstone, but the 14 controlled surge. Whenever you roll on the table, you can roll the die twice and pick one.
That's so fun. That is so fun.
That is so fun. Optional class features for Bard. First level Bard feature, Color Spray and Command. So this is...
just another kind of
yeah, this is just like extra spells added to the spell list.
I want to know what the intellectual fortress thing is. That like freaking Sherlock Holmes? Is that what's going on there?
That might be. I'm not sure. Let's see. Intellect Fortress. So Artificer, Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. Casting time 1 action. Concentration up to an hour for the duration. You or one willing creature you can see within range has resistance to psychic damage, as well as advantage on Int, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws.
Oh my god. Okay, so you go
that's not bad.
Like a bear totem barbarian, and then you get this ability somehow, and now you're resistant to everything.
Oh yeah, or one willing creature you can see. Yeah. So yeah, you cast this on your bear totem barbarian.
And resistant to everything.
Hey, barbarian, what are you resistant to? Everything. Oh man, yeah. Okay, mass healing word, slow, aid, induce, enlarge, reduce, mirror image. Yeah. So some extra spells. Second level bard feature, magical inspiration. If a creature has bardic inspiration from a die and casts a spell that restores hit points or deals damage, that creature can roll that die and choose the target affected by the spell. Add the number rolled as a bonus to hit points regained or damage dealt. The bardic inspiration die is then lost.
I
Yeah,
like that.
I can see why that's optional.
Yep.
I don't need this on my attack roll. I have advantage and yeah. So can I add this to the damage roll? Or I'm a cleric and all I'm doing for the next like 45 minutes is healing people. I have bardic inspiration. Can I just use it to heal? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I like that. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. That's like if you're running cleric and bard, that's incredibly useful and like just super nice to have. Bardic
Yeah,
versatility. Yep.
and it makes it like the versatility of really being a bard healer, kind of like, yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Um College of Bards. So we have two new colleges. We have College of Creation. I actually don't know anything about this one. Bards believe the cosmos is a work of art, the creation of the first dragons and the gods. That creative work includes harmonies that continue to resound through existence today, a power known as the Song of Creation. Oh. Bards of the College of Creation, draw on that primeval. Give that to your healer is good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, give it to the healer. Or even give it to the warlock and have him just like, I want to use this on like I have one damaging spell for the day. Can I please just add some more damage to it? um, like yeah, sure, go ahead, bud. Yeah, okay, so they're used like creation song magic. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like dragon themed. Okay. Among the Dragonborn, Song of Creation is revered for legends portray Bahamut and Tiamat, the greatest of dragons, as two of the song's first singers. Okay, so all right, here's what we got. Mode of potential. Here's the key thing. Whenever you give a creature Bardic Inspiration die, you can utter a note. Oh, sorry, I'm clipping it. You can utter a note from the Song of Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits around within 5 feet of the creature. The mote is intangible and invulnerable, and it lasts until Bardic Inspiration die is lost. The mote looks like a musical note, a star, a flower, or another symbol of art or life that you choose. I like that. That's super cool. When the creature uses an Inspiration die, the mote provides an additional effect based on whether the die benefits an ability check and attack roll saving throw. Oh, neat. Okay, so for an ability check, when the creature rolls the inspiration die to add it to its ability check, the creature can roll the bardic inspiration die again and choose which roll to use as the mote pops and emits colorful, harmless sparks for a moment. Okay, so you roll your ability check and then you roll the inspiration die twice and choose the one that you want. Obviously, you choose the greater of the two. So it's an
Right.
advantage on your inspiration for ability checks.
Yeah.
Fucking sick. Okay, cool. Immediate for attack rolls. Immediately after the creature rolls a bardic inspiration die to add it to an attack roll against a target, the mote thunderously shatters. The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed on a con saving roll against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the inspiration die. Oh, so if you roll a 6 on that, every enemy you can see within 5 feet of the target that just got hit, boom, takes 6 thunder damage. Hey, that's pretty good, man.
That's pretty alright.
Yeah. That's some splash damage that you can get at like level 3 on like your rogue or some shit. Wait, does it say melee? Um
No, it does not.
no.
Just as attack roll.
No, it's just within 5 feet of the target. So yeah, you put this on your bard or sorry, your rogue goes assassin, and your rogue's just sitting there with their bow, snipes somebody from stealth, gets advantage, hits them, hits the note. You roll a 6 on the note, and like boom, crits. I would say I
Whoa.
don't like I don't know if it would. I don't know if that would crit, but like I like that. That's super cool.
That's neat.
Saving throw immediately after. What's that?
No, keep going, keep going.
Okay. Immediately after the creature rolls Bardic Inspiration and adds it to a saving throw, you get temp HP. Equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die plus your Charisma modifier. That's pretty good. So you roll this thing, and regardless of whether or not you make the save, let's say best case scenario again, you roll a 6 on your Bardic Inspiration die, you add it to your roll, but you still somehow manage to fail the save. Or maybe you pass and you take half damage, but then you also get temp HP equal to 6 plus your inspiration, which if you're level 3, so you're going to have what, a +3? So you get 9 temp HP?
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
If you roll a 1, then you get 4 temp HP and probably still fail whatever the save is, but I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe you roll a 20 and you just use it anyway. Not bad. Also have Song of Creation. What is this? Oh, you can use the Song of Creation to create a non-magical item of your choice. It can be a surface or liquid to support it. Cost GP. Item can be more than 20 times your bard level, and the item must be medium or smaller. Item glimmers softly. You can hear faint music when touching it. The created item disappears after a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus. Interesting that they're tying stuff to like proficiency bonus more on here. I mean, I guess it's a way to like have like tiers.
Scalability. Yeah.
Yeah, like you have scaled tiers, but like not level. Like level would give you like a linear distribution for like the whole duration, but tying it to proficiency bonus means you have like tiered sections of like, oh, okay, you're level 4 now. All right, so or 5 or whenever. I think it's 4, right?
5? Yeah, like you basically get nice little boosts in power there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It keeps it from scaling out of control too, because if it was like number of hours equal to your level, like, cool, so I get this thing for 20 hours. Like, okay, so just make one in the morning. I'm good all day. You're like, not so much. Yeah, okay, that's kind of neat. It's not incredibly. Well, I guess it's as useful as you make it, right? College of Eloquence. Oh, I think this was in the latest book. What book? Mythic Odysseys of Theros. That's what it was. Okay, so this is the. If I go over here, sorry, because the compendium's a little strange. So this is like the actual like thing from Odysseys of Theros, which I forgot that I bought. Basically, you get like crazy bonuses to persuasion and charisma. To persuasion and deception. So you can talk your way into and out of pretty much everything. Is the idea for this subrace or subclass. You can also use unsettling words. You can spin words laced with magic, unsettle a creature, doubt itself. As a bonus action, you can spend one of your Bardic Inspiration dice and choose a creature you can see within 60 feet. Roll the Inspiration die. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. So you bonus action, use unsettling words, debuff them so that they have like a crappy saving throw on their next roll, and then you hit them with like hold person or something. Strong.
Yeah. That's pretty fun, because that's like the character I tend to make every time. Now there's just a official ability for it.
And then in the Tasha's version of this page is same thing. Also, you get silver tongued. You're a master at saying the right thing at the right time. When you make persuasion or deception, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. So you can't roll below a 10 on a d20 for persuasion and deception. Holy shit. So good. Like, yeah. Pretty good. Ramps up to what's their max level thing? When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your eloquence is now spread to someone else. When a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that you can hear within 60 feet of you, giving it inspiration die without expending any of your bardic inspiration uses. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. You regain all expended uses when you get finish a long rest. So you get like chaining inspiration. Honestly, pretty fantastic. Universal speech on there too. Pretty good.
Solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Optional cleric. So we got more spells from cleric, Aura of Life, Aura of Purity, Aura of Vitality. Interestingly, Aura of Vitality on here, that has been a paladin spell. That's been a paladin spell for a hot minute, and it has been crazy strong. One of the things that I've seen people do in builds is going lore bard so that they can get access to the spell to be like a healing bard. Now with this, you can get access to it as a cleric. So if you want to be a life cleric and do all the healy stuff and keep your peeps alive, then now you can just get access to this spell. Yeah, so it's a 30-foot aura around you, concentration up to a minute, 1 action. Until it ends, the aura moves with you, concentrated on you, and you use bonus action to cause 1 creature in the aura, including you, to regain 2d6 hit points. For up to a minute. For a 3rd level spell. Super strong. Super strong.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Spirit Shroud, no idea what that does. Summon Celestial, I can imagine what that does. Oh, here's another thing. Harness Divine Power. Here's a new option. You can expend a use of your Channel Divinity to fuel your spells. As bonus action, you touch your holy symbol, utter a prayer, and regain 1 expended spell slot. The level of which can be no higher than half of your proficiency bonus, rounded up. The number of times you can use this feature is based on the level you've reached in this class. 2nd level once, 6 twice, so forth and so on. You regain them on a long rest. So this gives you a chance to regain an extra spell in an emergency. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You get like an emergency spell, just like, oh fuck, please, I really need a healing word. Like, I really need a healing word immediately. I need to pick the barbarian up. And just, your god's like, everybody gets 1.
Everybody gets 1.
Until you're 6th level, then you get 2.
Then you're truly devout.
Yeah. Until you're 18th level, then you get thrice. Straight up says thrice. Cantrip diversity at 4th level. When you reach this level in this class, which grants an ability score improvement, you can replace 1 cantrip you learn from the class spellcatching feature with another cantrip from the same list. So cool. You can swap cantrips whenever you hit an ability score improvement. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That's nice.
Yeah.
Blessed Strikes, when you strike which replace an 8th level cleric feature which replaces Divine Strike or potent spellcasting feature. So it will replace the choice between those 2 things. The other option is you're blessed with Divine Magic in battle. When a creature takes damage from one of your cantrips or weapon attacks, you can also deal 1d8 radiant damage to that creature. Once you deal this damage, you can't use this feature again until the start of your next turn. So it's like a radiant sneak attack, right? Once per round, you can add some extra radiant damage. Depending on the situation, it could be great. I don't really remember what potent spellcasting and Divine Strike does, so not sure. And then we have 3 new domains. We have the Order Domain, Peace Domain, and Twilight Domain. I'm gonna kind of skim through these because we're only on Cleric. Order Domain is from Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. There's the art right there. Here's the new stuff. Oh, look at that man. That's a dope guy. He's got a sheriff shield. He's a lizard man with a sheriff shield. Ah, that's good.
A nice little buddy.
Yeah, I like it. So it gives you example of deities that you might use for the Order Domain. Order Domain clerics is basically clerics that are like devout in the terms of like order. You get heavy armor, intimidation or persuasion, your choice, voice of authority, Lets you like as a reaction command somebody to make an attack, which so you can use this, give this to your fighter to let them like make an extra attack. You get spells like whole command, heroism, hold person, zone of truth, mass healing, compel. Like if you want to play a cop for some reason, then Order Domain Cleric is a pretty good choice if you don't want to go the like paladin route, right?
Your sheriff of this spaghetti western?
Yes,
Yeah.
your sheriff of the spaghetti western would be an Order Domain Cleric. Yes, exactly. Oh, I like this. This line from Tasha in here. Finally, a whole faith about coloring inside the lines. That's pretty good. Embodiment of law, orders wrath. Yeah. So yeah, there's some good shit in there. I've built a couple of that one before because that book's been out for a minute. Peace Domain. This is a new one. These are pretty much exactly what you think it would be. They're devoted to peace, right? So you get heroism, sanctuary, aid, warding bond, beacon of hope, sending, or of purity. Odaluke, radiant sphere, greater restoration, Rary's telepathic bond. First level, you get insight, performance, and persuasion skill. Oh, you get the insight, performance, or persuasion skill. Your choice. Okay, I was like, you get 3 skills. What the fuck? No, you get one of those. Emboldening bond. You can forge an empowering bond among people who are at peace with each other. As an action, you can choose a number of willing creatures within 30 feet. You can include yourself, equal to your proficiency bonus. You create a magical bond between them for 10 minutes or until you use this feature again. While bonded, any creatures within 30 feet of another. While any bonded creature which is in 30 feet of another, their creature can roll a d4 and add the rolled number to an attack roll or an ability check or a saving throw it makes. It's inspiration. Each creature can add a d4 no more than once per turn. So it gives everybody like bardic inspiration, a d4 bardic inspiration, while they're within 30 feet of each other for 10 minutes. You can use it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. Again, the proficiency bonus, not a stat bonus. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Interesting. Second level, your channel divinity is Balm of Peace. You have a soothing... Your presence is a soothing balm. Balm, not bomb. Sorry. As an action, you can move forward up to your speed without provoking attack of opportunity. And when you move within 5 feet of another creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. A creature can receive this healing only once whenever you take this action. So you move up to your speed, you don't provoke attack of opportunity, and as you brush past your allies or whoever you want, you just like tap them and heal them. And that's what your channel divinity is. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like that. That's strong. Expansive bond. So yeah, okay, so you get the bond, and then you get protective bond. Okay, yeah, so later you get more like protection stuff. So okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. Next we have Twilight Domain. Is this Tasha's? Yes, this is Tasha's version. You get access to Fairy Fire, Sleep, Moonbeam, Sea Invisibility, Aura Vitality, Lehman's Tiny Hut. So yeah, it's sleepy stuff. You also gain proficiency in martial weapons and heavy armor. So it's sleepy stuff, but also fighty stuff. Eyes of Night, you can see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision out to a range of 300 feet. In that radius, you can see in dim light as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. As an action, you can magically share the dark vision of this feature with willing creatures you can see within 10 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier. Holy crap. The shared dark vision lasts an hour. Once you share it, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Okay, that's fair.
Well, that's the tank solve to dark caves. Now everyone can just fucking not have to deal with that.
I
It's pretty
mean,
strong.
if you don't want the peace cleric, right? Like,
I mean, that's fair. But if you have a tank though, that's
yeah.
like if that's kind of your thing, you're going into an Underdark setting,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be pretty strong.
Yeah. I mean, that just solves the thing of like, oh, everybody made a variant human, nobody has dark vision, but like also as players, we really don't want to fuck with like torches. Just like, all right, I'm gonna fucking make a Twilight cleric and just we have an hour, guys. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. Vigilant Blessing. The knight has taught you to be vigilant. As an action, you give one creature you touch, including possibly yourself, advantage on the next initiative roll the creature makes. This benefit ends immediately after the roll, or if you use this feature again. Okay, so you can pick one person and give them advantage on the next initiative roll. Again, that's really good. Like, let's say for example, this is first level, so you wouldn't have like this situation wouldn't happen off the bat. But let's say you're playing third level and like I don't know, you have like a gloomstalker or an assassin on your team that's like designed to do ambushes. I I bless you with my vigilant blessing. Cool, you have an advantage on your initiative now. All right, well we already won the fight, and there's not a limit of the number of like per day that you can use that. That's real strong. Channel
Tactical
Divinity.
kills.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, yeah. Although with heavy armor, you're probably not being sneaky, but like, hey, look, a distraction. Me. Channel Divinity, Twilight Sanctuary. When you use Channel Divinity, as an action, you present your holy symbol, and a sphere of twilight emanates from you. Sphere centered on you, 30-foot radius, filled with dim light. The sphere moves with you and lasts for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated or die. Whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn in the sphere, you can grant that creature one of these benefits. Temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus your cleric level, or you end one effect on it, causing it to be charmed or frightened. So you end a charm or frightened effect on it. That's neat. That's not as cool as the other. Well, okay, hold on. I hold up my symbol of the moon, and a sphere of twilight surrounds me and expands. A 30-foot radius is also pretty damn big, is the other thing. And it's dim light, so if you're like in a dungeon and like the dark vision is run out, okay, here's a 30-foot like dim light for the next minute. Yeah, okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not blown away by it, but it's
Right.
alright.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. Druid, probably my favorite class. A bunch of new spells as per the usual. Wild Companion, an option at second level. You gain the ability to summon a spirit that assumes an animal form. As an action, you can expend a use of your wild shape feature to cast the Find Familiar spell without material components. Okay, that makes sense. So you cast Find Familiar with a use of wild shape. When you do it this way, the familiar is Fey instead of a beast, and the familiar disappears after a number of hours equal to half your druid level. Okay, so you get a temporary familiar. Like, all right, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fine. Cantrip versatility. And then we have Circle of Spores, Circle of Stars, and Circle of Wildfire. Circle of Spores, we have actually had a character play, or a person play in Muffrevia before. Hasn't been on the stream yet, but yeah. So Circle of Spores, this is a druid that's basically like undead themed. You get an aura that around you when you spend your wild shape. You get a halo of spores. You can do a reaction when somebody enters it to do necrotic damage to them, and they have to succeed on a con check, which is like, depending on what you're fighting, kind of not the best save to target, but if you're surrounded by goblins, sure, seems great. You can also like get temp HP for 10 minutes when you activate it. And sorry, you actually activate it to get the temp HP, and then you add damage to your melee weapon attacks. You had 1d6 poison damage So yeah, it's pretty good. It's solid. If you want to make a tanky, like fighty kind of druid, like you want to get in there and fight people, um, the Circle of Spores is really good for that. You also get to, as a reaction, raise stuff in your Spore aura at level 6 as a zombie. You can create zombies. You create fungus zombies. Super, super cool. Fungus body at 14, you can't be blinded, deaf, frightened, or poisoned, and any criticals against you count as a normal hit instead, because your body is made of fungus now. Ew. Pretty good, though. Circle of Stars.
Yummy.
Yummy. Gross. So, okay, so this is a druid that's themed around, like, stars, right? And, like, the outside, natural places, places between the stars, right? So you created a star chart as part of your heavenly studies, a tiny object, and can serve as a spellcasting focus for your druid spells. Determine its form by rolling on the star map table or by choosing one. That would be a scroll covered in depictions of constellations, a stone tablet with fine holes drilled through it, a speckled owlbear hide tooled with raised marks, a collection of maps bound in an ebony cover, a crystal that projects starry patterns when placed before a light. That's the coolest one. Glass discs that depict constellations. That's also pretty cool, actually, but I think I'd go with the crystal. While holding the map, you gain the benefits. You know the guidance cantrip. You know the guiding bolt spell, or you have a guiding bolt spell prepared. It counts as a druid spell for you, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you have prepared. That's pretty cool. When you cast guiding bolt without expending spell slots, you can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So you just get a bunch of extra guiding bolts, probably one of the best like level 1 spells in the game. That's super neat.
How you play the Bazookaneer in the Spaghetti Western.
Right? Like, I've been charting out the stars out here trying to make a map. Guiding bolt, guiding bolt, guiding bolt.
Rambo. It's the old prospector. Like this story writes itself,
It
dude.
writes itself. I don't know about all that. Okay, here's another super cool thing. Make sure I have this zoomed in right. Starry form. As a bonus action, you can spend a use of wild shape to take on a starry form rather than transforming into a beast. While in starry form, you retain your game statistics, but your body becomes luminous. Your joints glimmer like stars. Glowing connected lines connect them on a star chart. Shed light, bright light 10 foot, and dim light for another 10. The form lasts 10 minutes. And ends early if you dismiss it. No action required. Incapacitated or die. Yep. Yeah, here's what they do. Archer. A constellation of an archer appears on you. When activate this form as a bonus action on your subsequent turns while it lasts, you can make a ranged spell attack hurling a luminous arrow at target that targets one creature within 60 feet of you. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 plus your wisdom, like radiant damage. Okay, so you get a 1d8 plus wisdom radiant damage attack as a bonus action for 10 minutes.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Chalice, a constellation of a life-giving chalice. Whenever you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to a creature, you or another creature within 30 feet of you can regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus wisdom. So you have to cast a spell in order to trigger this. I'm a little curious why you have to cast a spell that heals to trigger the chalice, but you just get the archer bonus as a bonus action. When they're equivalent, it's 1d8 plus wisdom. So like, is healing somehow like inherently more valuable than dealing damage? I guess you could use it to pick people up. Cause yeah, okay, I guess you could, because you could healing word as written on here. You could, the person that gets the healing from this isn't required to be a target of the spell, so you could healing word one person and then use the chalice effect on another and pick two people up. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's some utility to it. Again, it's pretty all right. Not blown away by it.
Yeah, or you could just bump a crap ton of healing into a like into like a barbarian or something, right?
Yeah.
Man. Dragon, wise dragon appears over you. When you make an intelligence or wisdom check or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on a d20 as a 10. So you can't roll under a 10 on a wisdom or int check or a con saving throw to maintain your spells. So that sounds crappy, but having played a druid a number of times, I'll tell you that almost all, sadly, of the good druid spells are concentration spells.
Yep.
So that's actually not too bad. That's not too bad. And like the other nice thing about this is that so you pick between those three when you activate your story form, but you don't pick one and then you only ever have archer. Like you have archer, chalice, and dragon, and you can pick which one you go into whenever you use it. So if you needed to like start the fight as archer or start the fight as dragon to make sure that you have your like control effects up, and then shit goes south and you need to pick people up with chalice, you could spend another wild action as a bonus action to shift to chalice. Yeah, like cool. I like it. There's a lot of flavor there. Super cool. Circle of Wildfire. This is very damage dealy. You get Burning Hands, Cure Wounds, Flaming Sphere, Scorching Ray, Plant Growth, Revivify. It's very sun themed wildfire, like forest fires and all that. You get a Wildfire Spirit that you can summon. You use your Wild Shape, and it summons a spirit that basically just burns stuff. Each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, which pops up in 30 feet of you, has to succeed on a dex saving throw against your spell save DC or takes 2d6 fire damage. So cool. That's a 10 foot radius, like 2d6 fire damage. Like a little mini fireball at level 2. Pretty good. In combat, spirit shares your initiative. Can only take the dog to action unless you take a bonus action to command it, and it does its thing. Yeah. So it just constantly burns everything around it while you have the thing up. It's just persistent AoE damage. Like, cool, good. Lasts for an hour or to reduce to 0 hit points. Yeah, not bad. You also get like a Phoenix effect too at 14th level on it. So if it gets reduced to 0 hit points, falls unconscious, you then regain half of your hit points and immediately rise to your feet. Yeah. So if you go down with the spirit is up, I think is how that's supposed to go. If you go down while the spirit's up, the spirit sacrifices itself and you get half of your hit points back. Pretty good. Okay, fighter options. Probably wondering what the hell would you get?
Tight.
Yeah. So here's a bunch of new fighting styles. Yeah. Blind fight. You have blind sight out to 10 feet. You can fight effectively if it isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in darkness. More so, you can see invisible creatures within that range, unless the creature successfully hides from you. You can see invisible creatures? What?
Okay, hold on. Interception is strong as freaking balls, dude. That's one reaction per turn. So as long as like you can just tank away all the damage done to you. Like that's so strong.
That is the not the paladin, what is it? The Redeemer from Pathfinder 2. That's their reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super strong. Reduce the damage to the target takes by 1d10 plus your proficiency bonus to a minimum of 0 damage. You must be wearing a shield or a simple or martial weapon to use this reaction. Yeah, your buddy gets hit, you're like, nah, dog, I got this. Superior technique, you learn one maneuver of your choice from among those available to the Battlemaster. Saving throw. Yeah, okay, you gain 1 superiority die, which is a d6. Okay, so this is super cool because you can not go Battlemaster and get access to one of the Battlemaster.
Strike. Yeah.
Disarming or parry or riposte or like precise strike.
All the fun ones, yeah.
Yeah.
The
most challenging part about that would be picking the one maneuver that you get because there's so many that are so good. Thrown weapon fighting, you can draw a weapon that is a thrown property as part of the attack you make with the weapon. In addition, when you hit with a range attack using a thrown weapon, +2 bonus to damage roll. Oh, okay, cool. That just makes thrown weapons a thing.
Yeah, that gives you a better thrown fighter kind of way to do that, which is kind of
Dude, you
cool.
can make bullseye.
Yeah, although look at the unarmed fighting, that's real strong. You can basically effectively just have a D8 plus your strength modifier for your unarmed blows.
Yeah. I mean, this is monk, right? Like at the start of each of your turns, you can deal 1d6. Oh, you can deal 1d at the start of each of your turns. You can deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage to one creature grappled by you.
Yeah, so you can like do a WWE kind of fighter and just like hold them and punch them in the face while you're grappling them.
Oh, like
That's
the
pretty.
brawler,
Yeah,
Magnus.
yeah. That's like how you would do Magnus these days. Would be something like that.
Oh man, I need to remake that character. Maybe we have like a flashback or something. I
He's
don't know.
in the guild of Muffrovia. He's like
Yeah,
a reoccurring character in most campaigns these days.
Magnus Junior Junior. Martial versatility. Fourth level. Yeah, so this is the replacement thing. You can replace a fighting style. If you know a maneuver from the Battlemaster archetype, you can replace one. More maneuver options. More Battlemaster maneuvers. Holy shit. When you make ambush, when you make a dexterity stealth check or an initiative roll, you can expend one superiority die and add that die to the roll, provided you aren't incapacitated. Ambush fighter? What? Bait and switch with. Sorry, I'm getting excited. When you're within 5 feet of a creature on your turn, you can expend one superiority die and switch places with that creature. What? Provided you spend at least 5 feet of movement and the creature is willing and isn't incapacitated. The movement doesn't provoke attack of opportunity. Roll the superiority die at the start of your next turn. You or the other creature your choice gains a bonus in AC equal to the number rolled. Holy shit. So like you have a boss or something that's like beating on one of your allies. You're like, nah, fuck that. And so you get behind him, use bait and switch, and then swap out with them. You don't provoke attack of opportunity, and then you roll the superiority die and add that to your armor or to your AC.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Quick toss, tactical assessment. Yeah. Okay. These are good. I like these. And then we have the Psy Warrior and the Rune Knight are the new archetypes. Holy shit, Psy Warrior. You weaken psionic power. What is this from? Oh, this is just in this. Okay, this isn't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So psychic warriors. You harbor a wellspring of psionic energy within yourself. That energy is represented by your psionic energy dice, which are d6s. You have a number of these equal to twice your proficiency, and they fuel psionic powers. You can do a couple things with them. They do die. Power description. Yeah. Okay. You gain all expended on when you finish a long rest. Okay, so most fighter stuff is a short rest. This one's a long rest.
Yeah.
In addition, as a bonus action, you can regain one expended psionic energy die, but you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Okay, so you can get one back as a bonus action per short rest. You can get the options of protective field. When you are a creature within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use a reaction to expend a psionic die, roll the die, reduce the damage taken by the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. You create a momentary shield of telekinetic force. You can propel your weapon with psionic force. One of each of your once on each of your turns immediately after you hit a target within 30 feet of you with an attack and deal damage to it with a weapon. You can expend one psionic energy die, rolling it and dealing force damage equal to the target equal to the number you rolled plus your modifier. Okay, so this adds int scaling to the fighter. So I've wanted to do like a smart fighter, but there's just like not options for it. This is actually pretty good. Okay, telekinetic movement. You can move an object or a creature with your mind as an action. That's neat. As an action, you target one loose object that is large or smaller, or one willing creature other than yourself. Yeah, you see the target at 30 feet, you can move it 30 feet. Alternatively, if it's a tiny object, you can move it to or from your hand. Either way, you can move the target horizontally, vertically, or both. Yeah, okay. So you have like mage hand, right? But
Yeah.
actually, you can go up to large objects.
I mean, it's how you're. If you want to build a Jedi, that's kind of how you want to do it.
Oh, 100%. It's a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Side power leap, telekinetic thrust, guarded mind, bulwark of force, telekinetic master. Yeah, neat. Okay, so yeah, you get Jedi stuff. That's a Jedi. Neat. Rune Knight. This is I've seen the UA for this. This is a fighter that's based around using a rune magic of the giants. So this is Get Big, the fighter. You gain
Got it.
proficiency with smith tools, and you learn to read and speak giant. They're pretty good, by the way. So Rune Carver, you learn runes of your choice. It's kind of Death Knighty from World of Warcraft too,
Yeah, I
because you
was
get
kind
like
of getting
rune
those
stuff.
vibes.
Yeah, you learn 2 runes of your choice from among the runes described. When you get the fight, or when you get like level 3, and then you get more later. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch a number of runes. Or sorry, you can touch a number of objects equal to the number of runes you know, and inscribe a different rune on each object. To be eligible, the object must be a weapon, a suit of armor, a shield, a piece of jewelry, or something else you can wear or hold in a hand. The rune remains on the object until you finish a long rest. An object can only bear one of your runes at a time. Blah, 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 blah. So here's an example. We have a fire rune. Let's skip to the second one. Fire rune. Student's magic channels the masterful craftsmanship of the great smiths while wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you'd make that uses your proficiency with a tool. In addition, so they have multiple effects. In addition, when you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, you can invoke the rune to summon fiery shackles. The target takes an additional 2d6 fire damage, and it must succeed on a strength check or a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turn. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turn, banishing the shackles on a success. Once you invoke the rune, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. That's super cool. There's also cloud rune, frost rune, stone rune. At 7 is the hill giant rune. Gives you resistance to poison, and as a bonus action, you gain resistance to bludgeoning and piercing. You also get Giant's Might at 3rd level, so you get all of that rune stuff, and then you get Giant's Might at 3rd level. Yeah, as a bonus action, you can magically gain the following benefits, which last for a minute. If you're smaller than large, you become large. Along with anything you're wearing, if you lack the room to become large, your size doesn't change. You have an advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Once on each of your turns, one of your attacks with a weapon or unarmed strike can deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target on a hit. You can use this feature equal to a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain them back on a long rest. So yeah, you can become large.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. I like this. Again, there's a lot of flavor here. Like, you also get the hill rune and then the storm rune later. Like, this is pretty good. And also, I really appreciate that these runes have 2 separate effects as well. So you have like a passive effect for like the fire rune gives you proficiency. Your proficiency check is doubled with a tool because you have like, it's the rune of the smiths, right? But then you can also activate it to summon like fire shackles. Sick. Super cool. I like this one. This one's really cool. You can get a runic shield. Rune magic. Always a hit with the kids. Battlemaster builds. So this one is this is basically they put this in here to show how versatile fighters can be. So these are a bunch of builds that you can put together with feats, maneuvers, and fighting styles for the Battlemaster to make different types of fighters. So you have Archer, Bodyguard, Brawler, Duelist, Gladiator, Hoplite, Lancer, Outrider, Pugilist, Shock Trooper, Skirmisher, and Strategist. This is just the Battlemaster. These are different ways that you can build the Battlemaster. just to show like how incredibly versatile that subclass can be. Like, pretty good. Pugilist, unarmed fighting, disarming it, and then for your maneuvers, you take disarming attack, evasive footwork, grappling strike, menacing attack, pushing attack, riposte, trip attack. Feats, you take athlete, durable, grappler, savage attacker, tavern brawler. Like, yeah. And it's got descriptions. Super, super great. Outrider, it's got archery, ambush, distracting attack, alert, crossbow expert, mounted combatant, observant, sharpshooter. Like, yeah, you run around on a companion. You get a companion for your mount. You buy a horse, and you yeah. But the exact same class could also be a lancer. You take dueling fighting style. Yeah. Heavy armor master. Like, super good. I like this. I like that they included this. The strategist.
Yeah, it like really kind of gets people away from like, give me just the biggest damage I can do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like if they play fighter, like their way to play fighter is you just get a two-hander and you go like great weapon fighting and you just do that thing, right? But like
Yeah.
no, dude, there's a whole lot of stuff that you can do with it. Monks. Dedicated monk weapons. You train yourself in a variety of weapons as a monk, not just simple weapons or short swords. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can touch one weapon and focus your ki on it, and then count that weapon as a monk weapon until you use this feature again. It must meet the criteria. A weapon must be simple or martial. You must be proficient in it, and must lack the heavy and special properties. Yeah.
Wow. You
Yeah.
can do that with a greatsword.
I think greatsword has heavy.
Oh,
I think
you're
heavy
right.
is the two-handers.
You can do it with a few of the other stuff. Oh, you can do a lot with that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. You can do a lot with that. That's super cool. Key filled attack at third level. You can spend one key or more as part of your action on your turn. You can make one attack with an unarmed strike or monk weapon as a bonus action before the end of the turn. Oh, sorry. If you spend one key point or more as part of your action on your turn, you can make an attack as an unarmed strike as a bonus action. So like if you do the key rush or like the key wave, the like Kamehameha key wave,
Yeah.
you can also use a bonus action to like make an unarmed attack. That's neat. I mean, that just adds like an extra bit, right? So you key
Yeah.
rush and sprint an entire football field in a single turn, and then walk up and bonk them. Quick healing. You can spend 2 key points and roll a martial arts die. I am not sure what that is. And regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled plus your proficiency bonus. What's a martial arts die? Thanks to the compendium, I can just hit martial arts die, and it'll maybe tell me. Nope, doesn't say. Okay, we'll figure that out later. I'm assuming it's just like a battle master die or something.
Yeah.
Master
Probably your level
traditions.
plus proficiency.
Probably something like that. Way of Mercy. Okay, so I saw a preview of this. This Way of Mercy, this is a healing monk. Yeah. Plague Doctor. Some looks never go out of style. So you gain like medicine, right? You basically like a yeah, implements of mercy. You gain proficiency in insight, medicine skills. You gain proficiency in herbalism kit. You also gain a special mask, which you can often wear when using the features of the subclass. Determine its appearance or randomly generate it on the merciful mask table. Raven, blank and white, crying visage, laughing visage, skull, or butterfly. Hands of healing at third level. Your mystic touch can mend wounds. As an action, you can spend 1 key point to touch a creature and restore a number of hit points equal to your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. Again, what's the martial arts die? Where's that at? I don't know, but we'll figure that out if it ever becomes relevant. So yeah, you can heal people. You can use this feature once per turn. You can spend 1 key to like heal people. Yep. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I read that as wrong section. Okay, restore a number of hit points equal to martial arts die plus your wisdom. When you use your flurry of blows, you can replace one of the unarmed strikes with a use of this feature without spending a key point for the healing. So you can punch. So you get what? 3 attacks with the flurry blows, right? Or is it 2 extra attacks?
I think it's 3 total attacks.
Right? Okay. Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh well. Okay, so yeah, basically you can spend one of those attacks to like heal for a key point. Okay.
Okay. I get the shtick of this guy. Let's move on to
Yeah. You also get hand of, so you have hand of healing, that's hand of healing. You also get hand of harm, which you can use your key points to inflict wounds. Yeah, you do necrotic damage. Harm and healing. All things in balance. You're the Zenyatta. Way of the Astral Self. This is the JoJo stand for costs if you're watching, which you shouldn't be because you should be working right now. Yeah. So the Astral Self is basically, this one's a little complicated. Like Astral Self
is
a
the JoJo class, right?
Yeah, it's the JoJo class. It's okay, you have a stand.
Yeah. I remember reading through this in the UA.
Yeah, you get the spectral arms as bonus action. You spend a key point and you get spectral arms when you do so. Each creature of your choice can see them within 10 feet, must succeed on dexterity throw, take force damage equal to the rolls of your martial arts die. Again, martial arts die. While the arms are present, you can use your wisdom in place of your strength modifier and making strength checks or saves, because your wisdom is the power of your spirit, so then because you use the arms and not your physical strength, right? Anyway, when you make an unarmed attack with the arms on your turn, your reach for it is 5 greater than normal, so you have reach. Unarmed attacks, wisdom modifier in place of your strength or dexterity for attack and damage. So this is a purely wisdom based. You can go hard into wisdom with this. Visage of the Astral Self, you get some other stuff. Astral Sight, you can see in darkness, both magical and non. 120 feet. Deflect energy, empowered arms, armor of spirit, astral barrage. Like, yeah, it's the JoJo stand. It's exactly what you think it is. Paladins. Extra spells for paladins: gentle repose, prayer of healing, warding bond at 2nd level, spirit shroud, summon celestial. Yep. Extra fighting options. So these are, this one's new. At 2nd level, you can get Blessed Warrior. You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the cleric spell list. They count as paladin spells for you, and your charisma is your spellcasting modifier for them. When you gain a level in this class, you can replace one of the cantrips with another one from the cleric spell list. Cool. You get 2 cantrips. You're going to be a paladin with 2 cantrips, so you can get that. Blind fighting, which we already saw, and interception that we already saw and realized is like real damn strong. So yeah, all 3 of those are super good. Seems good. Level 3, Harness Divine Power. You can expend a use of your Channel Divinity to fuel your spells as a bonus action. You touch your thing, regain. Oh yeah, you regain a 1 extended spell slot. The level of which is no higher than proficiency bonus. So you get a spell slot back. 4th level, martial versatility. So you can swap out your fighting style at 4th level. And then we have the Oath of Glory and Oath of the Watchers for paladins. Oath of Glory is like, this comes from Mythic Odyssey of Theros. Think like Greek heroes.
Yep, Pantheon.
Yeah, Pantheon. Yeah, you get your Odysseus, you get your Achilles. Yeah, challenges are but a test. Action over words, hone the body, discipline the spirit. Yeah. Tiefling Paladin of Glory. Damn. Look at that guy. That's a winner. Deeds through heroism. They get Guiding Bolt, heroism, enhance ability, magic weapon. Magic weapon at 5th level, like, I don't know, whatever. So you get those spells. Your channel divinity, Peerless Athlete. As a bonus action, for the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on strength, athletics checks, and acrobatics checks. You can carry, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal, and the distance of your long jump and high jump is increased by 10. Inspiring Smite. You can channel Divinity as a bonus action. You distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. Total number of hit points is 2d8 plus your level, divided among those chosen however you like it. So yeah, it's a smite. It's a smite, but it's a healing smite. But, well, healing, quote unquote, it's temporary HP.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Glorious Defense, Living Legend. Yeah. So it's that's the basic the thing. The Inspiring Smite's kind of the core of that. You get some other stuff later. It's basically you're like a superior athlete, and you also can like inspire your people, right? Oath of Watchers. This is an interesting one. Oath of Watchers. Safeguard the mortal realms from otherworldly threats. Vigilance, loyalty, and discipline. Oath spells are Alarm and Detect Magic, Moonbeam, See Invisibility, Counterspell, Non-Detection, Aura of Purity, Banishment, Hold Monster, and Scrying. Channel Divinity. When you channel Divinity, you get the options of Watcher's Will. You can use your Channel Divinity to invest your presence within the warding power of your faith. As an action, you can choose a number of creatures you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier. For 1 minute, you and the chosen creatures have advantage on int, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. At higher levels, there are a whole lot of effects that can really ruin your day that are int, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. At level 3, this might not be like extremely valuable, but if you're doing a like Planescape or like Spelljammer or like a planar adventure, this starts to get real useful real quick. You can also, as an action, present your holy symbol, and each aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed, the creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. So yeah, if you need to just like flashbang and get everybody out of there, yeah. Just like, all of you guys don't belong here. You don't belong in the mortal realm, the material realm. Get out of here. Pretty good. Or the Sentinel, yeah. Initiative bonus, Violent Rebuke, Mortal Bulwark. You gain True Sight as bonus action for 1 minute. You get True Sight. You have advantage to attacks rolls against Aberrations, Celestials, Fiends, Fey, and Fiends. I said Fiends twice. Yeah. Pretty solid. You're really good at fighting shit that doesn't belong here. Not bad. Ranger class options. So here's the first level options. So we have some extra stuff that you can get here. So you have Canny, Roving, or wait. Deft Explorer and Canny, sorry. You're at first level Ranger, this replaces the natural Explorer feat. You are unsurpassed Explorer and Survivor, both in the wilderness and in dealing with others in your travels. You gain the Canny benefit below, and you gain an additional benefit when you reach 6th and 10th level. So this replaces Natural Explorer. So like normally Rangers have a like favored terrain and kind of deal that they do. This replaces that part. And so instead of having like a favorite thing, you just travel a lot. So you get different bonuses from being familiar with a bunch of different stuff. For the first level thing, you choose one of your skill proficiency. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for an ability check that you make that uses the chosen skill. You can also speak, read, and write 2 additional languages. Cool. Neat. Favored foe. First level ranger feature, which replaces the favorite enemy feature and works with the foe slayer feature. So this hooks into foe slayer and replaces the original favorite enemy. When you hit a creature with an attack, you can call on your mystical bond with nature to mark the target as your favorite enemy for 1 minute, or until you lose concentration. First time on each of your turns that you hit the favorite enemy and deal damage with it, including when you mark it, it increases the damage by 1d4. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain everything on a long rest. So yeah, okay. So instead of saying like, I'm used to hunting orcs, because that's what I think we're going to fight in this campaign, just like, no. Favorite foe. That guy. My favorite foe is that guy right there. I like that. I think that's just better, honestly. It might not be like mechanically stronger against the target, like that you're trying to fight, but yeah, I think that's pretty good. Some extra spells, entangle, searing smite, some other stuff. Fighting styles, druidic warrior is a new one. You get cantrips from the druid spell list. That's pretty neat. They also have access to the thrown weapon thing. So if you want to do the druid that like throws axes, like
Yeah.
what's his name, Zul'jin, you can do that. That's pretty cool. Spellcasting focuses primal awareness at 3rd level, which replaces primeval awareness. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so the primeval awareness is honestly kind of useless. It's a thing that lets you like know when there's like aberrations and undead and stuff around, but they basically have to be within eyesight. Like you can't have like a solid barrier between you, otherwise you just don't detect them, which is honestly stupid and pointless. So this replaces that with this. It gives you spells that don't count against your ranger spells known. So you get at 3rd level, speak with animals, and then beast sense, speak with plants. Yeah, cool. Honestly, I would take this 100%. Primeval awareness is extremely situational. I would rather just have speak with animals because I feel like I could use that in more situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the Fey Wanderer and the Swarm Keeper. Yeah, speak with plants. Yo, Tree, what up? Hey man, what's going on? Have you seen Tarask around here? Oh yeah, he went that way. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, bye. Fey Wanderer. So this is a like more Fey themed ranger, which ranger is like very nature. So you're like, Fey, what? Aren't you just doubling down? The answer is yes. Dreadful Strikes is their first thing. You can augment your weapon strikes with mind-searing magic drawn from the gloomy hollows of the Feywild. When you hit a creature with a weapon, you can deal an extra 1d4 psychic damage to the target, which can take the damage only once per turn. Increases to d6 when you hit 11. So it's like sneak attack, right? It's flavored psychic, but it's kind of like sneak attack. Doesn't scale all the way up like sneak attack does, but hey, there you go. You also get access to a couple of extra spells for Fey Wanderer magic. Doesn't count towards your number of ranger spells you know. So you get Charm Person, Misty Step, Dispel Magic, Dimension Door, and Mislead. Actually, if I remade Morlin, I would remake Morlin as a Fey Wanderer ranger. 100%. The fighter's super good, but like, this is great. You also get you also possess a preternatural blessing from a Fey ally or place of Fey power. Choose your blessing from the Feywild on the thing. You faintly smell of cinnamon, lavender, nutmeg, or other comforting herb or spice. Your shadow dances while no one is looking directly at it. That's funny. Your skin and hair change color to match the season at dawn. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Otherworldly glamour, also at 3rd level. Your Fey quality gives you a supernatural charm. As a result, whenever you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum +1. Holy shit. In addition, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: deception, performance, or persuasion. Hold on. When you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your wisdom modifier. So what if you build wisdom and charisma?
I mean,
you have +3 and +2. You just like start the game with a +5 plus your proficiency bonus. What?
that's pretty strong.
Yeah, that seems real good.
That seems real strong.
Yeah, second charisma on second charisma on a ranger, like maybe I don't know about that, Chief, but if you take the fighting style where you get the cantrips, your spellcasting modifier is wisdom. So okay, I'm gonna have to build this out later because this is like that's a whole lot of weird things to add on a ranger, and I really want to see what that looks like.
You can do a lot of weird stuff with that.
Yeah, I'm super into that. That's a very magic heavy ranger. Swarm keeper. So instead of using like
It's just
a
annoying.
bear, you get a swarm of bugs. Fucking ew.
I get a swarm of bees.
A swarm of
Why
intangible nature
bees?
spirits has bonded itself to you and can assist you in battle. Until you die, the swarm remains in your space, crawling on you or flying and skittering around you within your space. Cool, now my skin is crawling. Thank you. I didn't need this. It can appear as miniature twig blights, swarming insects, fluttering birds, or playful pixies. Okay, that's not as bad. If they're playful pixies, that's not. On each of your turns, you can choose. You can cause this swarm to assist you in one of the following ways. Immediately after you hit a creature with an attack, the attack's target takes 1d6 piercing damage from the swarm. Okay, so it's once per turn, but you can add an extra 1d6. Okay. Target must succeed on strength saving throw against your spell save DC, or be moved by the swarm up to 15 feet horizontally in a direction of your choice. So that's 15 feet off of a cliff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you are moved by the swarm 5 feet horizontally in a direction of your choice.
Huh.
All right. Swarmkeeper magic. You learn the Mage Hand cantrip if you don't already know it. When you cast it, the hand takes the form of your swarming nature spirits. Neat. Some extra spells that don't count towards your ranger spell list, of course. Wait, I think that's a typo. That says Mage Hand as a third level spell. Yeah, that's a typo. That shouldn't be on there. You get Fairy Fire,
Where
Web, Gaseous Form, Arcane Eye, and Insect Plague at 17th level. Holy shit. Um, it's your swarm. A swarmkeeper's swarm and spells are a reflection of the character's bond with nature spirits. Take the opportunity to describe the swarm from the ranger's magic in play. For example, when your ranger casts gaseous form, they might appear to melt into the swarm instead of a cloud of mist. Or arcane eye spell, create an extension of your swarm that spies for you. Each description don't change the effects. Such descriptions don't change the effects of the spell, but yeah. So customizing and personalizing like your spells. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Writhing Tide, Mighty Swarm, Swarm Dispersal. Uh, you can discorporate into your swarm to avoid danger.
oh my god. I can become the bees.
I've become the bees. Okay, so here's some extra rules for Beastmaster companions to like beef them up. Um, third level Beastmaster feature, which replaces the Ranger's companion feature. This is a primal companion. This magically summon a primal beast which draws strength from your bond with nature. So this is a magical companion rather than a like mundane one. Beast of land, beast of sea, or beast of sky, which uses your proficiency bonus in several places. Yeah, these creatures are the compendium with the PB added to the proficiency bonus added in to the end, such as beast of sea. Okay, so there's entries basically if you want to use this in Roll20. There's entries for each level. Like if you want Beast of Sea with proficiency bonus of 2, you grab Beast of Sea PB2, and then you just give it to assign it to the player so that they can use it. Cool. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can summon a different primal beast. The new beast appears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. Choose a stat block and its appearance. If you already have a beast from this feature, it vanishes and replaces a new one. Yeah, so like, cool. You get a replaceable like mystical pet. Seems neat. Rogue optional class feature, steady aim. As a bonus action, you can give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn. You can use this bonus action only if you haven't moved during this turn, and after you use a bonus action, your speed is 0 until the end of the current turn. Okay, that's really cool. So you can be like, all right, I'm just gonna snipe this guy. So you take steady aim at 3, and then you use your bonus action. Instead of moving, you use your bonus action to sit there and aim, and then you make your attack. Cool. Neat. Works with like crossbow stuff, works with like longbow. Like, cool.
Yeah.
That's good. And then we have 2 new types of rogues. We have the Phantom and the Soul Knife. The Phantom is like ghost stuff, undead stuff. Echoes of those died cling to you. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can choose one skill or tool proficiency that you lack and gain it as a ghostly presence shares its knowledge with you. You lose this proficiency when you use this feature to choose a different proficiency that you lack. So you have one proficiency you can swap around per day. Wheels of the Grave. Immediately after you deal sneak attack damage to a creature on your turn, you can target a second creature that you can see within 30 feet of that creature. Roll half the number of sneak attack dice for your level. Round it down, and the second creature takes necrotic damage equal to the roll's total as the wails of the dead sound around them for a moment. You can use this a number of times equal to proficiency bonus.
So
Cool.
it adds extra damage to your range. You just
Yeah, to a second
sneak
target.
attack. Yeah, rather. That's dope.
Yeah. Tokens of the
Fucking-
Departed, you get soul trinkets. The soul knife. This is a psionic.
Got it.
Yeah, this is a psionic rogue. It's soul bolstered knack, psychic whispers. You get like telekinetic like messages and stuff. Yeah, cool. Psychic blades. 1d6 psychic damage. Yep. You make magic blade. It does 1d6 psychic damage when you hit with it. Ability modifier for the plus the ability modifier that you use for the attack roll. So like you can like throw it or whatever. Blade advantages immediately after hitting the target or it misses. It leaves no mark on the target if it deals damage. So that's kind of interesting. If you're doing a like assassination like kind of thing where you need to like kill somebody and get away with it, or take somebody out and get away with it, you could use a psychic blade to kill them, and it doesn't leave any marks. So they're gonna have a real hard time figuring out how he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can use it as melee or ranged. Blah blah. Yeah. Sorcerer class options. Okay, so here's a fun thing. Booming Blade, Green Flame Blade, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, and Sword Burst. They finally reprinted the Sword Coast Legends spells. The cantrips.
Yeah.
Finally. So those are in here now. Meta magic options. You have Seeking Spell. When you roll a attack roll for a spell and it misses, you can spend 2 sorcery points to re-roll the d20, and you have to use the new one. You can use Seeking Spell even if you have already used a different meta magic option. Cool. That's super neat. Transmuted Spell. When you cast a spell that deals damage type, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change the damage type. And they're the elemental ones, so no psychic, no radiant, no necrotic.
Yep.
But you can just change the damage type. That is actually incredibly useful for like hitting weaknesses on stuff. There are very, very few things that have weakness, but there's a lot of things that have resistance, so you can avoid the resistance at least.
Yeah. I think that's really strong, actually.
Yeah, especially for 1 sorcery point too.
Be like, oh yeah, it's radiant damage. Oh, okay. Like,
Or like something's like resistant, or let's say for example you run out of spell slots, even like you're fighting a troll and you're low on spell slots and all you have is like thunder wave or something. Like, okay, I want to make the thunder wave acid. Just like, oh fuck, okay, cool, all right, well that works. Yeah, okay, cool, that turns off its healing. Like, all right. Or just use the shatter spell and turn it to poison. How does that even work? I don't know. That sounds super fun. Next we have the 2 new sorcerers. We have the Aberrant Mind and the Clockwork Soul. Aberrant Mind is basically you're influenced by the Far Realm. This is your aberration sorcerer. So you have Sorcerer's Origins. First level speech features, you get certain sorcerer spells. Are these added to your list? I don't remember. You learn additional spells when you reach certain levels, as shown on the psionic spells table. Oh yeah, okay. So you get these psionic spells. Each of these spells counts as a sorcerer spell for you, but doesn't count towards the number of spells known. So you get access to Arms of Hadar, Dissonant Whispers, and Mind Sliver at first level, and at third level you get Calm Emotions and Detect Thoughts. And then later you get like telekinesis, Effort's Black Tentacles, Summon Abjuration, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you get extra like kind of warlocky spells. Yeah. Um, Also telepathic speech. So this is like a great old one, Warlock. You get the 30-foot telepathic speech. You can choose a
Yeah.
number of each other than the two of you who are within miles of each other. Oh, okay. So it's the distance is miles of each other equal to your charisma modifier. So that's far. It's real damn far. Yeah. Okay.
Neat.
Yeah, neat. Super cool. And then this one, which is super interesting, Clockwork Mind. Is a clockwork sorcerer. Yep. So the clockwork spells are alarm, protection from good and evil, aid, lesser restoration, dispel magic. Yeah, it's an abjuration sorcerer. Manifestations of order. Spectral cogwheels hover behind you. Hand of a clock spins in your eyes. Your skin glows with a brassy sheen. Yeah. Restore balance, level 1 feature. Your connection to the plane of absolute order allows you to equalize chaotic moments. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can use a reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage or disadvantage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain it on a long rest. So yeah, okay, so your buddy's rolling on a check but has disadvantage for some reason. You can say, no. No chaos. You roll once. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Or like yeah. Okay, so you can cancel out enemy advantage or ally disadvantage. That's pretty good. What is this one? Clockwork Cavalcade. You summon spirits of order to expunge disorder around you. As an action, you summon the spirits in a 30-foot cube originating from you. Spirits look like modrons or other constructs of your choice. Spirits are intangible and vulnerable, and they create the following effects. Spirits restore up to 100 hit points. This is 18th level. 100 hit points divided as you choose among any number of creatures in the cube. Any damaged objects entirely in the cube are repaired instantly. Your artificer friend is really going to help, like really appreciate this. And every spell of 6th level or lower ends on creatures and objects of your choice in the cube. Once you use this action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 7 sorcery points to use it again. That's pretty neat. You can just like, it's more like screwing with dice. I always like that. Warlock options, Pact Boon options, Pact of the Talisman. Your patron gives you an amulet, a talisman that can aid the wearer when the need is great. When the wearer fails an ability check, they can add a d4 to the roll, potentially turning the roll into success. The benefit can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. If you lose the talisman, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to replace it. So cool. Here's another way to get a mini bardic inspiration. And you can just
use it whenever.
You can hand it to somebody too. It doesn't necessarily need to be you. You can like give the talisman to somebody.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like a fiend pact warlock and you want to hand your talisman over to your lawful good paladin buddy, I mean, maybe I'm not gonna wear that, bro. Maybe I'm not gonna put that on. That doesn't seem like a good time for me. But it's neat that there's a new talisman.
Also, the charlatan pretending to be your. It's like, oh, okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems a little sketch, man. I don't know. Here's a roll deception.
A whole bunch of new Eldritch Invocations, which is probably the best part of Warlock, including some stuff for the existing packs. So like the Pact of the Chain, there's new stuff in there. Rebuke of the Talisman. There's a couple in here for the new Talisman. Unending Servitude. You can cast Animate Dead without using a spell slot. Once you do so, you can't do it again for a long rest. 5th level. Yeah, cool. Gives the protectors Pack of the Tome. So if you like that classic Pack of the Tome where you're a warlock putting together your spell book, there's some extra stuff in there. Basically, you can use your tome to like not die. The Fathomless. So this is a new subclass for the warlock. Yeah, you plunged into the depths of the elemental plane of water and you made a like pact with some sort of like water elemental, probably. Merfolk demigods or sea hag covens, that kind of thing. You can create and destroy water for first level spell, second level gust of wind and silence, lightning bolt. Yeah, it's water stuff, right?
Yeah.
Here's where it gets a little bad anime. I'll leave it at that. Tentacles of the Deep. You create a you can magically summon a spectral tentacle that strikes your foe. As a bonus action, you create a 10-foot long tentacle at a point you can see within 60 feet of you. Tentacle lasts for 1 minute or until you make another one. When you create the tentacle, you can make a melee spell attack against one creature within 10 feet of it. On a hit, to 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 until the start of your next turn. And then it scales up. As bonus action on your turn, you can move the tentacle up to 30 feet and repeat the attack. When you summon a number of tentacles equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And you also, at the same first level, you gain a swim speed equal to 40 feet, and you can breathe underwater from level 1. What? That's actually pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
That's pretty dope. If we do some sea stuff, maybe I'll make a Fathomless.
Muffrovia is based in a
Chain of Islands?
archipelago like area, so
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bunch of tentacle stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can make a whirl of tentacles that like teleports people up to a mile away at 14th level. Fathomless Plunge. Pretty silly. I've looked at that one. Last one is the Genie. You make a pact with the Genie. And depending on the type, gives you different spells. It's like basically, if you want to play a warlock, but you want like elemental stuff, here you go.
oh my god, I need this. I literally need this right now.
Yeah. You also get a Genie's Vessel. So you have a vessel that you can go into, and you can hide inside of your lamp. As an action, you can magically vanish and enter your vessel, which remains in the space that you left. The interior of the vessel is extra-dimensional space, which is a shape of a 20-foot radius cylinder, 20 feet high, and resembles your vessel. The interior is appointed with cushions and low tables and is a comfortable temperature. While outside, you can hear the area around your vessel as if you were in the space. You can remain inside the vessel for a number of hours equal to twice your proficiency bonus. When you exit the vessel early, if you use a bonus action to leave, if you die, or if the vessel is destroyed. When you exit the vessel, you appear in an unoccupied space closest to it. Any object left in the vessel will remain in there until carried out. And if the vessel is destroyed, every object stored in there harmlessly appears in unoccupied space. Yeah. Once you answer, you can't again until you finish a long rest. Hold on. The part about like any objects left in the vessel remain there. You want to really piss off your artificer?
Oh my god.
Grab his turret and hop into your vessel.
Damn.
And then if you leave and you don't bring it out with you, oh, sorry, man, I can't hop back in there until tomorrow.
Oops.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Did I not bring it out with me? My bad. I was the hookah in there. I got a hookah in there. It's real good. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. My bad. The vessel's it has AC and stuff. Yeah, this is super silly. Like there was a whole bunch of people talking about like silly shit you could do with this. Sorry, there's another effect. Okay, once on each of your turns when you hit with an attack roll, you can deal extra damage to your target equal to your proficiency bonus, the type depending on your patron. Yeah, bludgeoning, thunder, fire, cold. Right, cool. There's a bunch of people that were talking about like So what if you need to like cross a gap and like you know you're not going to be able to make the athletics check because you're a warlock? Um, what if you just get into your vessel and then have like your fighter just fucking chuck you across the gap, just like hurl you? Like, oh man, that's fucking silly. All right. Lastly is wizard. Um, they have two new arcane traditions: is the Blade Singer and the Order of Scribes. Order of Scribes is kind of cool. Blade Singer is what you think it is. It's like the elf, like it's the Gish. It's the like attacking and casting spells kind of thing. You get light armor. You gain proficiency in the performance skill. This is the elven blade dancing stuff. Um, invoke elven magic called the Blade Song. Provided you aren't wearing medium or heavy armor or using a shield. So you have to be using a blade, but not with a shield. Yeah, no heavy armor, no medium armor. Right. As bonus action, you can start the Blade Song, which lasts for a minute. It ends if you're incapacitated, or if you don medium or heavy armor or a shield, or if you use two hands to make an attack with a weapon. So you can't use a two-handed weapon. You can dismiss it whenever you want. It gives you a bonus to your AC equal to your int. Increases your walking speed by 10 feet. You have advantage on acrobatics checks, and you gain a bonus to constitution saving throws to maintain your concentration on a spell. The bonus equals your int modifier. So you get your int modifier is bonus to con. So all of this stuff makes you a far better like duelist. Maybe not a tank. Abjuration Wizard's probably still better for that. But you can still, like, if something gets on you, you're not super screwed. You get an extra attack at 6th level. And, yeah, Song of Victory at 14th. Add your int modifier to the damage of your melee attacks while your Blade Song is going. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not going to make you, like, you're not going to want to, like, go in and melee fight, like, constantly with this. It's not going to be. You're still a damn wizard, for sure. If it gave you heavy armor, then maybe.
Yeah.
Order of Scribes. This is all about like scrolls and like making like magic scrolls and stuff. Super neat idea. As bonus action, you can magically create a tiny quill in your free hand. It has these properties. Doesn't require ink. When you write with it, it produces ink in a color of your choice when writing. The time that you spend to copy a spell into your spellbook equals 2 minutes per spell level if you use the quill for transcription. Normally it's, I think, like hours per spell level or something. Or days maybe, I don't know. It's a lot longer. You can erase anything you write with the quill if you wave the feather over the text as a bonus action, provided the text is within 5 feet of you. That doesn't say that it has a time limit. Awakened Spellbook. So you have an Awakened Spellbook instead of a regular ass Spellbook. You can use a Spellbook as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells, so you don't need a material component or a material pouch. When you cast a wizard spell with a spell slot, you can temporarily replace its damage with a type that appears in any other spell in your spellbook, which magically alters the spell's formula for this casting only. The latter spell must be of the same level as the spell you expend. So there's a few extra limitations on this, and by a few extra, I mean a lot of extra. But I still think that this is just better than the new meta magic, the transmutation meta magic for the sorcerer. Sorcerer can change it to whatever type; they just have to spend the spell point. But this doesn't cost you anything as long as you have access to those spells. So if your DM's like kind of generous with like letting you transcribe spells, or you're very like careful on which like damage types and stuff that you take, then hey, there you go. You don't need to spend anything to do it. Whenever you cast a wizard spell as a ritual, you can use the spell's normal casting time rather than adding 10 minutes to it. Once you use this benefit, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest. So that'll let you use a ritual spell without casting a spell slot, but also still not have to take 10 minutes for it once per day. That's pretty good.
Make Chalk Zone the character.
Make what?
Chalk Zone.
Chalk
The
Zone?
old Nickelodeon show.
Oh, I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh my god.
If necessary, you can replace the You can replace the book over the course of a short rest by using your wizardly quill to write arcane sigils in a blank book or a magic spell book to which you're attuned. Yeah. Spellbook's consciousness is summoned into the new book. Yeah. So again, it's an awakened spellbook. So your spellbook is like aware. It has arcane sentience. Neat. Manifest mind, one with the word. Yeah, it's just like writing magic stuff. Yeah, super cool. I like it. I don't know how like incredibly useful it is, but honestly, most of the other stuff is kind of garbage. So like, okay, so these are the new feats. I'm gonna go back to the thing because I don't know if we need to go over all of them in depth because it's been over 2.5 hours already. Yeah, so Arcane Initiate, Chef, Crusher, Chef. Hold on, I do want to see Chef. Time spent mastering the culinary arts has paid off, granting you the following benefit. Increase your con or wisdom by 1 up to a maximum of 20. Gain proficiency with cooking utensils. As part of a short rest, you can cook special food provided you have ingredients. Oh my god. Muffin. Monster Hunter. Oh my god. Provided you have ingredients and cooking utensils in your hand, you can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points gains an extra 1d8. With 1 hour of work, or when you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. These special treats last 8 hours after being made. A creature can use a bonus action to eat one of these treats to temporarily gain hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. I love it. I love that. That's so good.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. I'm going to read through these on my own later, but yeah. Okay, so we'll probably skip the Dungeon Master's Tools section, which sadly is like probably one of the more like useful parts of this. But yeah, so we have a couple other things. Group patrons. Group patrons is a new thing. Basically, the idea here is that you have a powerful creature or a person that is basically like giving you quests, or like they're the person that's like in charge. You're working for them. You're working together for them. Such as, I don't know, maybe a guild master, Muffin?
Yeah.
During character creation, every player has an opportunity to weave connections between their character and the other members of the party. Rather than, or in addition to, creating a web of established relationships, players can work with the DM to choose a group patron. Or if you're interested in being your own patron, see Being Your Own Patron section at the end of the chapter. So here's some examples of like how this might work. So you have, with the input of your DM, you can customize your patron to reflect specific establishments in your campaign world, or serve as a launchpad tailored for organizations of your design. For example, the guild group patron could represent the Harpers or the Zentarum of the Forgotten Realm, the Clifftop Adventurers Guild in Eberron, or Homebrew League of Caravan Guards, or Foxhole Guild. Group assistance. Having a group patron gives an adventuring group a common purpose, which inspires better coordination in the form of guidance and encouragement. As a result of this unity, each member of the party can grant advantage to an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw of a member of the party. To grant advantage in this way, a character and the chosen target must be able to see each other, and neither can be incapacitated. Once a member grants this advantage, the individual can't do so again until they finish a long rest. So that's an optional thing. You could add the group assistance. Like, IMO, probably not necessary, but it's an option. Perks. So they can also give you like extraordinary boons, or an audience with powerful figures, or exception from certain laws, depending on like how powerful your patron is, right? Send you on assignments. Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. So here's some examples. Let's go with a guild. Seems relevant. So there's a few types of guilds. Crafters Guild, Merchant Consortium, Miracle Makers Association, money changers, philosophical faction, or identity traders. Ooh, neat. Sell documents. Guild perks might be with a guild as your group's patron, you gain the following perks. These perks require an annual contribution of 15 gold paid to the guild, replacing the 5 gold per month cost of characters with the guild artisan background. These dues fund the guild services and activities. Accommodations, you can stay at your organization's guild hall. The rooms are comparable to those of a comfortable inn, but at a modest price, 5 silver per day. Equipment, you can requisition the use of specialized tools, laboratories, libraries, or other crafting spaces and equipment to use within the guild hall. When you make an ability check with a set of artisan tools using the guild equipment, add double your normal proficiency bonus. Resources, you can leverage the guild's extensive contacts to locate exotic materials for crafting, spell components, or magic items, or buyers for them. Downtime activity in the DMG and the Xanathar's Guide to Everything. You can locate or sell legal commodities using the guild's resources, and any tips in your favor by 10%. And any prices tip in your favor by 10%. And then training, the guild retains knowledgeable tutors and subjects pertinent to its interests. When you undertake training downtime activity as described in blah, 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 the training takes half as long as if you were studying the subject that the guild specializes in. The DM decides if the guild has tutors available for a given subject. And then you have guild contacts, guild representatives, you have like roles and what backgrounds would be relevant for certain roles. Guild quests, here's some like quest starters, right? And then like we have a bunch of other different types of guilds on here, or different like patrons. So there's also like military force, aristocrat, criminal syndicate, religious order, sovereign, an ancient being. Could be sick. An elder dragon, a lich, a bound fiend, guardian celestial, the endless, primal manifestation. Like, yeah. And then different kind of benefits that you could get for those different types of patrons. So that's a way of having a like, if you want to have a way of not necessarily like railroading the group, but like having somebody in the story with a lot of weight, to like steer the group in a direction, a patron can be a good way to do that. Somebody powerful overseeing them, like, hey, look, you're working for me. Like, I'm giving you all of this extra stuff. Here's the benefits of working with me. If you want to continue doing this, then go that way.
It's a way to put a boss in the game that's like to keep the players in check from just murder hoboing everyone and just doing that kind of
yeah
way of doing it.
Yeah, it works. I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing with what you've been doing with Malfrovia, is we have like a guild system and a guild master, and there's a few people. Yeah, there's a few people that will like send us out for stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's like ideas for you for like things that we could have.
Because if God sends you out onto a trip, you're not just going to be like, okay, God, put them up, put them deuces up, let's do this.
Right.
Scrapping right now. I go into a rage. Excuse me? I go into a rage.
You go into a rage. He smacks you on the butt because he thinks it's cute that you're going into a rage. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There's a section on personalizing spells, gives you an idea of like different magical themes, for like what your spells and stuff might look like. I find it honestly like one of the most interesting things is like describing what spells look like for like magical characters. A farmer sorcerer hurls magic missiles that looks like chickens. Fucking brilliant.
Chicken.
Like, I like that shit. That shit's great.
Yeah.
There's list of magical items in here. A whole bunch of them. Blood Fury tattoo, whatever that is. Some artifacts. Damn. Magical tattoos. All right.
Love that shit.
Wondrous abilities. Yeah, gotta love magic tattoos. That's always a hit with the kids. And then we have the Dungeon Master's tools. So again, I don't want to like spoilers too much the Dungeon Master stuff. But here's some advice on like doing a session 0. Talking about like party and character creation. A lot of times, a lot of the stuff that we've done, we've made our characters in a vacuum and then gone and like thrown our characters together, and then it's like this awkward thing of like, I don't know anything about who your character is. It can be nice to have a session, like we've done on the show, where we make characters together and like weave each other's backstories together, like actually have like established stuff. It can be good to do that. It also helps like set the tone. You can have like a party origin. There's some tips on running a game for one player. We might try that at some point. Talking about D&D as a social contract. It is a group-based thing. It's not like the DM telling the story and then the players just have to like go along with it. It's an ongoing story, and like every character should have the time to shine, and every person and every player should have like interesting and good time and be like respectful towards everybody and like understand that this is a group thing, not anybody's like, this isn't one person's story. Hard lines and soft limits. This is like lines and veils and stuff. This is just basically like talking about what you do and don't want in the game, and like establishing that ahead of time. If there's topics that people are uncomfortable with or just would prefer not to deal with, there's some advice on how to talk about it. Game customization. What are 3 pillars of adventuring, combat, exploration, and role-playing interests you the most? How much humor do you want in the game? What level of technology do you want in the game? Do you enjoy solving in-game puzzles and riddles? I am terrible at puzzles and riddles, I'll tell you right now. I like them from time to time, but I'm horrible at them. So if we did a campaign where it was all puzzles, I'd probably just have like a real bad time. I like them, but I'm real bad at them. How do you want to track experience? Do you advance like per level, or do you want to do that kind of stuff? I'm talking about house rules. And then like rules on sidekicks. So sidekicks are a thing. So we have the whole like, basically there's 3 types of sidekicks. There's the expert, a spellcaster, and a warrior. The sidekicks are, I'll go back into this. The sidekicks are basically a way that you can either add an NPC to like the party and like have a like template for them. If you don't want to like kit them out as a character. Or another thing that you can do is if you have a person who's like new to D&D and you want to hand them a very simple character, so that they can just like maybe participate in like a couple of scenes or something, and then like if they want to dip, they can dip. You can give them a sidekick, and then if they want, like whenever they would like level up, you can turn them. You could, if you want to, convert them into an actual like PC. So this can be a like very, very simple way to like get new people into the game. Getting a sidekick, starting level. Yeah, just match them up to whatever the group is what it advises. Rules for hit points, proficiency bonus, all that other stuff. And then there's the 3 types. The expert, which is good at like skills and stuff. They know things about stuff. It's the Tyrion Lannister. Spellcaster. Yeah, it's a spellcaster. It's freaking spellcaster. And then the warrior. The warrior's a fighter. And like I like how it varies here too. For the example, you can have an Aasimar warrior, a Furbolg warrior who is like very clearly a chef, as his normal job is a chef, and then also a wolf. So it might not be an animal companion. It might be a sidekick that's like an animal, right? Like that could be a thing. And then they get stuff like a simple version of like what a fighter gets, basically. So yeah, it's good stuff. I like the sidekick thing. I think it's a neat addition. Then it also goes into rules about like parlaying with monsters, environmental hazards, and puzzles. We're gonna skip the puzzles because I don't want to like spoil any of it. Because that is actually just puzzles that you can use in the game. So I will leave those to Muffin so that he can use them as he pleases. So yeah, so that's Tasha's, man. That's Tasha's cauldron of pretty much everything. I think this is a pretty dope book, honestly. This is probably, I think this is the biggest. Definitely since Xanathar's, might even have more than Xanathar's as far as like character options.
Yeah, they really opened up a bunch of the different classes.
Yeah.
And I think the whole spirit of like, yeah, go ahead and mix and match and kind of like changing those core features to character creation.
Mm-hmm.
I think really this book adds a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I definitely think like if you want to like play D&D and you're not sure like what books to pick up the player's handbook, of course. Like mandatory, right? Pick up the player's handbook, and then if you're going to buy one more book, uh it's going to be either this or Xanathar's. I would say probably this one. This is just going to give you a ton of options. Xanathar's has a bunch of like races in it if you want more like race stuff. But this even addresses that too with the like creating your own origin or customizing your origin thing. So if that's an option that your DM wants to like let you guys do, then there you go, right? Feats are cool. New feats are like finally, good lord, finally. That's pretty great. 2 subclasses for every single one of the of these, except for Artificer, but Artificer is like new, quote unquote, reprinted in this book anyway. So yeah, yeah, good shit, good shit. I'm probably gonna go over here and just start like making new characters, just like with all the new stuff. Oh man, what was the one? The Ranger? Yeah, it was the Ranger I wanted to mess around with. Um, but we're not gonna do that on stream because that's yeah. Um, but yeah, so that's Tasha's Cauldron of all the stuff. Available on Roll20. Available on D&D Beyond. Available on their website if you want to just like buy a physical copy. Probably at most every gaming store. I don't know if physical copies are out yet. I don't know. Maybe if you pre-ordered them, you probably got them today or like a couple days ago. I don't know, but yeah, good book, man. Good book. Yeah,
10 for 10. Good book.
10 for 10. Good book. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go get some food and then like roll up some silly characters because I am gonna lose my voice, sir, soon if I don't take a break. Yeah, go buy this. Go buy it on Roll20 if you use Roll20. It'll add it, and then you can share it with your friends, and they can use all of the options in the character master. It'll be good times. Yeah, cool. All right. See ya.